What's up, boys and girls? Welcome, Jets fans. It's the Friday night hangout here. We're going to have a good show tonight. Going to have some old faces, some new faces, some fun times, some good discussion. We're going to discuss the Jets. We're going to get into the game on Sunday. Can the Jets pull it off? What do they need to do to pull it off? But we will be back right after this.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean and the chivalry.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist in Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
Like
eat a
makeup.
damn snack.
Hello. Baba Booey to y'all. What's up, everybody? We see some people here early. I was upstairs making my coffee. The boy's upstairs. He's with me. And he goes, Daddy. He goes, everybody, people are already commented. You didn't even start yet. So we got to shout out the people who get here early before the show even starts. Twisted was the first one here. I'm proud, green to the bone, and hanging out. What's tonight's topic? Like I said in the open, we're going to discuss the Jets. We're going to discuss the game. We're going to discuss what we need to do to win this game. We'll probably throw around some other things, how the Joe Burrow injury affects the AFC, how it affects us, another team who could be on a big slide, a team getting out of the playoff push, right? We're trying to get back in it. That could be a team getting out of it. So, of course, got to show some love to Harlan. What's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Thank you as always. Always supporting Harlan. Always encouraging people to hit the like button. I love it. Absolutely love it. Another early riser here at 8:30 on a Friday night. We got the mess man. The Jets mess is hanging with us. My guy. Wild Wave is here. Oh, I clicked too quick. That's what she said. What's up, Wild Wave? How are you? My man, Snowball. Welcome. I'm all about it. Billy coming in, shooting from the hip, from the beginning. 9 likes. Let's go. So let's get into it. I'll be joined in a few minutes by some others. Oh, all right. No, I'll have some company. I'll have some company shortly. I'm not with this. And here's why. If you haven't seen my short yet today, I put out a short about this topic today. I'm not for it. And here's why. Our line can't protect long enough to throw the routes that Robbie Anderson runs well. We need guys who are quick and can get open in space. I want Gibson getting more burn. We already got Taylor. Taylor can run deep and take the top off. Give him some more reps. I'm not a fan of bringing Robbie in. Robbie Chosen, whatever his name is now. I don't know. We need a guy who can get open in 5 yards. Quick ins, quick outs, slants. Robbie's a one-trick pony for me. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I'm not against if we do it, but if you're asking me, I'm out. I'm not going to do it. You got Malik Taylor, you got Gibson, you got guys with speed. You don't need a guy who can't do anything else. He won't play special teams. Even with Chase Claypool out in Miami, they still were like, nah, we're good. We don't need you. I'm good, guys. I'm good. Let's see who else we got here. Cuke is here. What's up, bud? I am confident. I'm not saying a guarantee that we're going to win, But what this defense has done to Josh Allen in the past 3 games gives me hope. I'm confident that our defense can do what it needs to do. I'm confident that our defense can rattle him. I just hope our offense can do enough. I hope we can get something going. I hope the defense gets a touchdown. But we'll get on to that. We'll break it down. We'll get everyone's thoughts, opinions. Our pop culture topic of the night, which I know you're all waiting for. Top 5 sitcoms. We're going to do top 5 sitcoms tonight. So once we get all the cast of characters in here, we'll go through that. We'll have some little off-topic fun. I want to thank all you guys for supporting me, for supporting the channel, and helping build this channel. I think I was at 446. YouTube has lowered their regulations, or whatever you want to call it, for monetization. It used to be 1,000 subs. It needs to be 3,000 watch hours in the year. I think it's a rolling 12 months. So 3,000 watch hours and 500 subs now to be monetized. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't, catch up on the shorts, the views, everything. It helps. You guys are really good supporters of the show. So we're getting there. I'm going to start doing some longer streams. The Friday night hangout. We've done a 6-hour show at one point. Mother's Day weekend, 2022. Adam, that's the day the wicker chair was born for WA2K. The wicker chair and the channel, being Wicker Media, was born. If you guys, some of you were there, you remember it was a 6-hour show. Buffalo Jet fan was on. He bounced out. About 2 hours later, it was 1:15 in the morning. He hopped in the chat. He's like, "Holy shit, you guys are still going?" And of course, that's what she said. So, good things coming. I'm gonna start doing more content. I'm really getting a good flow with this and enjoying it. And but yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody. Mo, how you doing? What do you got to say? So I'm also not a liar. When there's a havoc, destruction, that's also what I have to bring. Hey, you can't have everybody agreeing all the time. If everybody's always in agreement, it's no fun. If everybody's always just nodding heads in agreement and there's no kickback, then it's more interesting when somebody is bringing in a different take, a different point of view. As long as nobody's saying anything to attack anyone or attack me or any of the guests, I'm fine with everyone having a difference of opinion and discussion. I love a good debate. You guys know that. You watch me. You know I love a good debate. You know I love a heated discussion. Why was Wicker Man expelled from Kingdom? He was on here with me 2 weeks ago. We did a Friday night. He was on here with me 2 weeks ago, and we did a Friday night hangout. He wasn't. He was traveling last Friday. Well, he was traveling. He had an event to go to about an hour away from home, so he wasn't able to make last week's. I was off by the time he had gotten home. Oh, I missed a comment here. Robbie can get further down the fields than the guys we currently have. I hear you. I mean, it's a good argument. And if Joe and Hackett and Salah and, let's be real, Rodgers like it, but they've done so much with bringing in the young guys, and I think you're going to see more of that. This is with the way Lazard has played. I think you might see some opportunities for Brownlee. I'm not talking 40 plays. I'm talking maybe 15, which would be a lot for Brownlee. It would be his season high. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But I don't think I've seen Brownlee on the field 15 plays on offense. But you get him 10 to 15 plays, 10 or 12 maybe. Give him a chance. Can't hurt. Lazard's hurting us. Can't hurt to try someone else. You never know what you're going to get. Every undrafted guy needed an opportunity. Every undrafted guy who made something out of his career, whether it's Wayne Corbett, whether it's James Harrison, needed opportunity. I think we got that in Gibson, Kuka. I really do. I think we have that in Gibson, and I think you're going to see his role start to evolve. I was so angry the other day that he ran the wheel route early in the game. We hit him with it, and we ran nothing to him the rest of the game. Now I get it. You're feeding. We may have had some other plays drawn up for him, but if you're putting Garrett Wilson in one-on-one coverage, you go to Garrett Wilson. Forget everything else. You go right to Garrett. You take the chance over there. So, Knob, what's up, pal? Thanks for joining. Thank you. No, all time. Your favorite five. Your favorite five. Doesn't have to be the best five. It has to be your favorite five. You could say Herman's Head. It used to be a show on Fox when I was a kid. After football on Sundays, Herman's Head was on at 8:30 on Channel 5. It was a bunch of different characters who lived inside a character's brain. And it was the sports part, the alcohol part, the heart, emotional part. There was different characters, and they were in the brain all deciding what Herman should do with his life. If anyone knows Herman's Head. You know what? You asked about him, Mo. You said, where is the Wicker Man? Well, there's only one place for the Wicker Man to be. Where would the Wicker Man be, one would say? He's over there in the wicker chair. What's up, pal?
Oh, well. It is another Friday night. You are at MetLife Stadium, and I am here in the wicker chair. Which of us has got the raw end of this deal?
Well, for some reason, the green hood, I didn't feel like changing.
There you go.
The Weed the People made that other backdrop that I have, the jet one. And for some reason, the green, I don't know what it's doing today. The lighting hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. But it's picking up a green halo around me. And it was even worse with the green background.
Oh, it's a halo.
Halo. That's the only time I'll ever have a halo around me. How you doing?
Everybody gets their 15 minutes of halo.
Nice.
I just get the green blended wall.
Awesome. I was just telling everyone we're doing top 5 favorite sitcoms later.
Okay.
Right? That's what I texted you. Sitcoms, right?
Yes, you did. I
right.
would say I feel a little more adept to do sitcoms than I did dramas. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you tried to make the show last week. I was just telling everyone that you were traveling.
Right.
Did you have your 5? Did you work on them, or were you like, not for me?
I thought about it for a moment, but after a couple of minutes, I was like, you know what? I really don't have enough dramas in mind where I feel like I could talk enough about them, because you have to realize I've barely ever had HBO. I have barely ever even seen The Sopranos, and as an Italian, that's like blasphemy, and I am aware of this. So,
I, as an Italian, cannot support this man being on the channel anymore. It says taxi cab.
All right, I got to be careful because I got a few
Divas.
things in mind, and none of them are appropriate. But all right, but I'll stop right there. Okay.
Seinfeld. Everyone loves Raymond. I like that. Everyone loves Raymond. Well, Girls Gone Wild.
That pisses off Ray Romano when you say everyone loves Raymond. I will say it. It's like saying to Robert Sala, all gas, no brakes. It's break, and you have to be specific about it with him.
Nice. Funny Girls Gone Wild story. So years ago, I'm talking late 90s, Howard Stern always promoted. That was one of their big commercials. If you watch the E! Show at night, Girls Gone Wild was on. There was an edited version of it, I believe, was one of the shows. And I ordered the tape. I was like, all right, fuck this. We didn't have the internet, really. You didn't have videos on the internet. If they did, it took 17 hours to download a 5-second clip. But I ordered Girls Gone Wild VHS tape. And it comes to the house. And then next month, I didn't know I had auto bill on. And I kept it for a year. And then I was like, all right, I'm out. And then one day I showed up at my buddy's house, and he was getting ready to move to California. And I gave him the 12 VHSs of Girls Gone Wild. And he's like, it's the greatest thing you've ever given me, Shine. He's like, this is the greatest gift that one could get.
Yeah, VHS. I'm sure there were some parts where the tape was stretching. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Wow. Gee, yeah, Kuka's pretty much covered every end of the spectrum here. I don't think there's
He
any
did.
doubt about it. Yeah.
He did. He did. Late. He covers transportation with the taxi cabs. He covers church with the confessions. He covers outerwear with G strings. He covers lifestyle with divas. Uh, he covers life again with the Girls Gone Wild. He covers the Jewish culture with Seinfeld and Raymond. Or Ray Romano's Italian. There we go. We got the Italian and the Jewish cultures covered.
You got
Everything's
whole gamut.
basically everything got checked off on that list.
Very much it's like a New York spring break theme going on here. You see what you see where I'm going? What I can see here? Yeah, we got Taxi Cab Confession, Seinfeld, Raymond, and then
Tough list to top. It's a tough list to top, man. We got our work cut out for us.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, tonight.
Glad you running. Hey, GBH, thanks for joining, bud.
Mine in mind. Yeah, Indy Cold already knows what's up.
Nice. Oh, I didn't get down there yet.
We'll get
Any
there.
word on it? I haven't heard anything yet about Hardy being back. I believe he's still IR'd because he wasn't on the injury report, and we haven't seen anything about him practicing. Am I right with that?
Yeah, Hardy has to be. Yeah, so Hardy went. I'm going to take a quick look at this, but he has to be out a minimum of 4 games because he went on IR.
He did.
So let's see. He went on IR. I'm going to look this up.
This should be 4 because he missed.
This
he got
game
hurt
should
in
be
the Denver
4, right?
game. Say again?
Yeah, this game should be number 4, the Buffalo game.
I think he got hurt in the Denver game, and he missed Philly because Irv Charles got activated for Denver as the other gunner when Eccles was out, and it was Charles and Hardy. So he played Denver.
So
and then he missed Philly. He missed the Giants. He missed the Raiders. This should be game 4, if I'm correct.
Okay, so he had the surgery on October 13th, Friday, October 13th. And Cimini reported, I know it's Cimini, but hey, he was going to miss
Philly on the 15th. So Philly was his first game out.
He was going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So today is 5 weeks that he's been out since he's had surgery.
Does the bye week count as a week? Does the bye week count as a week on the IR?
I believe it does. I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it does. And we forgot about Kenny Yeboah. Everybody except Green Bean, I'm pretty sure, forgot about Kenny Yeboah, but losing him hurt special teams as well because we had amazing coverage for a while. Like we were a top cover. We still have the number 1 special teams in DVOA. I know that's like if ever there was like winning the bronze medal, that's pretty much it. You're the number 1 special teams unit in the league. Not offense or defense, but you got specials. But you've lost two of your absolute most reliable and the 2 special teams guys who played the most snaps, and that's tough. Hey, Snowball.
Have the Jets finally realized that playing guys who give you the best chance to win trumps loyalty to the high contract players? I hope so. If we win this week, I think that solidifies that should be the notion with the mindset with the organization. You agree?
Yes, I think that this coaching staff can be very stubborn. About 2-3 weeks after the fact, they'll eventually figure out, you know what, maybe we should actually make the changes that, all the geniuses on YouTube are advocating for. And I think that is, I think it would be a very good idea, whether it's whether it's tweaking the offensive line, whether it's like not using Michael Carter on 3rd down. I know he's gone, but you get my point. But using Brees on 3rd down a little bit and maybe using Dalvin Cook a little bit more. The usage of Dalvin Cook, that was like one thing that just I did not understand. He was running really well. He ran three snaps in a row. Snap 1 like 9 yards, snap 2 8 yards, snap 3 like nothing. And at that point, Nathaniel Hackett decides to not play him pretty much in the game ever again, or at least give the ball to him ever again. I don't understand that kind of, I'll call it logic, but flawed logic. You put your best players in a position where they can make impacts, and we're kind of seeing guys like Cook get better as they go along. Now, Some things I thought did work a little bit better this past week. Ty Conklin, 7 catches on 7 targets. That means something. On third down, we have killed this team about third down. This team did convert 7 of 16 third downs last week. Yes, I'm digging deep to find positives, but that is just a fact of life. So it really came down to them beating themselves. And the Raiders were a team that could actually take advantage of it. Other teams that they played couldn't do it. But we're at a point now where the Jets are taking a step back up in competition with Buffalo, Miami. I've been saying for weeks about Houston. This is not just after the CJ Stroud comeback. I've been saying this for a month. You got to watch out for Houston in the wild card mix. I'm really at the point right now, Nick, where I don't even consider the wild card realistic after losing these 2 games. I think it is division or bust. And I think to be real about it, I think they got to win these next 2 games for that to be a realistic possibility. That's where I am right now.
Agree. I mean, either way, with being down 2 games, being down the last 2 games, these have turned into must-win for multiple reasons. It closes the gap in the division. I don't cheer on injuries, but you have to note Burrow getting hurt on the Bengals.
Yeah,
the way it looks takes a team out of the playoff race. Yeah, I don't expect them to compete in that division without Joe Burrow. Healthy Burrow, I'm a big fan of. But
I got no.
They got a good offensive coach like Zach Taylor, and what they do there offensively. I'm not saying they can't win some games, but that's a massive blow to that organization, losing obviously Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I feel
that's the second one in that division in a week. Watson goes out and Burrow goes out. So 2 of the teams that we may be in a wild card race with have also lost their quarterback for the season. Ours isn't guaranteed to be out for the season, so looking for positives, right?
At this point, after you're enough days removed from a horrible loss, yes, you start to look back at positive. Yeah. And hey, all it took,
everybody's showing what
was a 12 men on the field penalty for us to get a little bit of hope back, just a little. Evan, there you go, brother. I actually did work arms today, so yes.
Oh, look at that. Little reason to flex on it.
A little bit.
There you go.
Feeling pretty good. Yeah. And the pasta when I got home was great. Had a nice red blend from Trader Joe's. Oh my gosh. I did take down half a bottle, so I warn you, my filter is slightly reduced from where it normally is.
That's fine.
Yeah. But if you look really at Cincinnati's schedule, you've got Pittsburgh at Jacksonville, Indy, not a layup anymore, by the way. Minnesota, at Pittsburgh, at Kansas City, and Cleveland. There's really not a whole what I would call Cincinnati's going to lose, I would say, the majority of their games. And yes, agreed. I'm out $50 on my bet that they would reach the Super Bowl, but you know what? I can live with it. And but Buffalo and Cincy have absolutely brutal schedules. The team that I just can't figure out is Pittsburgh. The way that they just keep winning. Pittsburgh has been outgained in every single game they played this season. It is unbelievable.
I think they have the longest active streak of not having a 400-yard game offensively.
You got to give Tomlin
that. About our offense. Their offense has been worse.
Yep, it has. But you know what? They started running the ball a little bit more, and it's made a difference. You know who else did that? The Raiders started doing that, and it's worked well for them. If only the Jets could do the same thing and make it work. But
yeah, we just got to get in the end zone. Like we're putting the yardage together, and I hate to say it, but Salah's right. We're there. We're right there.
We're moving the ball.
I don't understand. Like I said the other day on Wednesday night, find a way to get in the end zone. If you get to the 22, just throw 4 fucking fades to Garrett Wilson and let him just jump and maybe come down with one. Just do it 4 times in a row. Do something that you haven't done yet and see if it works.
Maybe we'll get a pass interference penalty.
Cross the debris. Come back with Gibson. Do a reverse.
Maybe try one of these tight ends. I mean, I am all for playing like at least 2 tight ends / fullback on pretty much every play because I feel like it's been a situation since AVT went down, our running game has tanked. Brees is averaging 2-3 yards per carry the entire time, and I got to tell you this. and if you'll allow me a moment to vent for just a minute, every week I try to listen to somebody else's. I try to listen to the other side. I find another podcast from the other team. I want to get a view from the enemy. Did you cut me out on purpose, dude?
No, I was trying to give you the solo, and I don't know how to switch it.
You gave yourself the solo.
Yeah, well, I see that. That's what she said.
Okay.
They can still hear you, though. Go ahead. I'm trying to figure it out.
All right, very good. Okay, yeah, it's like F6 works. F5, F6. I've done this a couple times. There we go. But I listened to this one particular podcast. I'm not going to mention the guy because I don't want to give him any recognition, but he does a draft podcast. He does all these different types of things. So he really knows the league. And he was talking about Breece Hall, knocking Breece Hall about how poor he's been running over the last couple weeks. And this guy had the nerve to say, I would rather have James Cook. For all the Bills fans who are knocking them because they didn't trade to get Breece Hall and the Jets got him, y'all can pipe down now because James Cook is better. James Cook fumbled on the first play. He had 2 fumbles last week and was sat until halftime. Stop. Does Breece Hall have Josh Allen as his quarterback? Does he have that offensive line to run behind? Stop it. It is just pure ignorance from what I had to see that there's this narrative being pushed out there that James Cook is better than Breece Hall. James Cook is hardly the best running back in his own family. That got me more aggravated than just about anything else I saw this week. So believe me, not that Breece Hall would ever follow me. He probably blocked me going back to the draft, and I wouldn't blame him if he did. But boy, oh boy, I hope Breece Hall got the word out that there are people who are thinking, there's Bills fans who think that they're happy because they have James Cook and not Breece Hall. I hope Breece shows out this week. No Matt Milano to mess with him. Let's run Dorian Williams right over into the ground, and let's get in the freaking end zone and break this touchdown streak. Thank you, Nick. I feel a lot better now. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed that.
No worries, man. That was a good rant.
Evan, the Rangers rant was still better. Yes, I acknowledge that because it went about 10 minutes.
Nothing will compete with the Rangers rant.
Not yet, anyway.
Right.
Just give me this rant and then take it away from me, and believe me, the rant will come out. I can assure you.
That's fine. Hey, man, it's Friday night. Let it all out. You never know.
You can't
what can happen on the show.
It's got to be there. It's just got to be there. When it comes out, it comes out. It's just
you gotta feel it. You gotta pop the bubble sometimes. But if you're talking rants, yes, she did. She said it. If we're talking rants, we got to bring in somebody who's known for some epic rants himself. We got to bring in somebody who's known to be chaotic. We got to bring in somebody who made the computer swap. We got to bring in somebody who loves his puppies, both on females and the 2 animals that live in his home. I'll shout out to Jerry the King Lawler there. Puppies, woohoo! Back in the day with Jerry Lawler, it was fantastic. Let's bring in Mr. Chaos. What's up, buddy?
That's what you had? You could have said so many other things. You're talking about puppy loving. How about bagel eating, bagel schmearing, pickled herring accepting, gefilte fish.
Okay, all right. Fine. He's also Jewish. There.
He is?
Bagel eating pickle there. He's Jewish. All right, I covered it all.
I guess that's an easier way to say the same fucking thing.
Yeah, that summarizes all of it. He misses New York bagels. He misses New York pizza. He gets Chinese food on Christmas night. There we go. I covered it all.
He has posters of Woody Allen on his wall and above his bed.
Yes.
No. He's a child molester.
It's like the old religious candles. Going back to the 80s, not anymore. But he has, remember the candles you get that, like, Adam, your mom or grandma probably had them. The holy candles that have like the picture of Jesus on it. They're like 8-10 inch high candles.
Yeah. My dad's side is Italian, so it'd be my dad's side that had that. Definitely not my mom's.
Just for show. Don't light them. It's just on the Jesus table. We don't use them. There's a Bible, there's a rosary bead, and then there's the candle for Mary and the candle for Jesus.
Candles is very Old Testament, right?
Yeah. My grade school, St. Cecilia's in Island, New Jersey. I was in 2nd grade, and the church was inside the school, and it was built in the 50s. I think 55 it was built. And back in the 80s, those churches were built with dry carpet, on a wood floor with wooden pews. And back in the day, they used to physically light the candles and have burning candles with oil in there. And this old woman went in during the school day in January, 2 weeks after Christmas. It's the second week of January. And when you walked into the church, in the back left was an exit to get out into one of the school hallways. Our classroom in second grade was in that back hallway right there. All of a sudden, we're like, smell smoke. All of a sudden, fire alarm goes off. They're rushing all the kids out of the school. The woman went in, lit a candle. Her purse caught another candle, tipped it over. An inferno lit the whole church up in seconds. Ceiling collapsed. We're outside. Thank God the Island Fire Department is right next to it across the street. They rush us all over there. They get all the kids upstairs. We're singing songs. Meanwhile, we're looking out the window and see smoke blowing out of the top of the school. Now, they send us all home. We had a couple days off. Here's the best part. It was 2 weeks after Christmas. I had gotten like 80s Dukes of Hazzard like style corduroy jacket, light brown corduroy, like the color of your wall behind you, Jeff, with like the white fur on the inside. I get home. The bus comes and picks us up. I get home. I'm in a fucking panic that my jacket was going to burn. Okay. Second grade, no logic, Adam, right? There's no common sense in a second grader in a panic. I sneak out of the house when my mother went to the bathroom. Yeah, I still don't have it. I sneak out of the house when my mother went to the bathroom, and I made the 1.6 mile trek back to the school. I was going through yards. I saw my uncle driving the neighborhood looking for me. I was hopping people's fences. I was going through yards, and then I had to sprint over Oak Tree Road, the bridge over the Parkway, downhill to get back into the neighborhoods in Island. I was a block away from the school when I'm running around a car, and all of a sudden, what the fuck is wrong with you? My dad grabbed me. My dad, the pioneer in Island, was right there. My dad got the call at the bar on the payphone that Nikki's running down to the school. Him and a buddy were walking through the neighborhood. He saw me coming. He dipped behind the car waiting for me and jacked me up. I'm like, my jacket. Santa just bought me that jacket. The jacket. I need the jacket. They're like, the room is fine, you fucking idiot. Go home. Put me in my uncle's car, and I went home.
Oh, my God. So, and your life's been a wreck ever since.
I've been fascinated and infatuated with fire and fire pits ever since that day.
Oh, my God. I fraternity brothers, some of my fraternity brothers at Stony Brook rented a house. And there was this one guy that was obsessed with fire. Like in the dorms, he was always lighting the lighter. And he didn't smoke pot. Everybody else was passing around bongs and stuff. And he's just playing with the lighter. And sometimes, his roommate said, no, he's an idiot. Sometimes he'll light his paper on fire and blow it out and stuff like that. Well, he moved into this house. And he decided that they would get the, what was the paper that day? The Newsday? The Newsday it was called, right? They would get that every day because it was like free for students.
Well, if you're out on the island, Newsday was the biggest thing, yeah.
Right. And they would stack that in the closet, right? So they never threw out a copy. They had like it all stacked up. This moron decides to fill the fireplace with all these newspapers and takes a gallon of gasoline and pours it all over the newspapers in the fireplace, puts the tank down next to the fireplace, takes a match and lights it. So, of course, if you've ever burned newspaper, they kind of go on fire in little pieces and float around.
Yeah. It's so thin that it goes up with the heat.
Yeah, this is a house in Long Island. The house was full fire. The living room, the whole wall was on fire within a minute. He screamed. Luckily, they got the fraternity brothers that were upstairs out of there. They ran out. And within 5 minutes before anyone got there, the entire house was torched. And I don't know how it was ever resolved, but like the insurance refused to pay because they were renting the house, and they said that's arson. The insurance was saying that's not an accident and was refusing to pay the insurance.
Wow.
So they were like in lawsuits, like they were being sued, crazy stuff.
Adam, any
any story?
Well, Jeremy, I don't know if you've ever done any shows on YouTube, but it's good to silence your phone during them. Adam, have
I have it on silence. It won't shut up. It's the freaking.
what's it go through the
I'm
computer?
sorry.
Yes.
It goes through the computer.
It goes
Oh,
to
you got the new Mac. You're on the wife's
wife
Mac.
set it up that my instant message is like hooked
All right,
to
don't
my-
touch anything. We'll deal with it. Don't touch anything if it's their computer. Adam, any scares of or loss of property, real estate, or near Christmas present fire stories from you?
I don't know. I think I need a few more minutes to think up a good true story. No, I mean the only stories I could tell you would be real and they would be sad.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't do
I don't have
that.
a whole lot of humor in mind, to be honest with you. But the one
All
I
right,
can,
all right.
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, it'd be the true story and it'd be kind of a rough one. But I mean, I'll tell it if you want me to. But I just don't have a lot of
If you
humor.
could put a funny twist on it, I'm all
I'll
about
come
that.
up with one. All right, I'll come up with one somewhere. So at this point, my parents have been separated for about 6 months. Just by now, my dad
Okay.
lived about 5 minutes away, and I grew up in, as most of you all know, I grew up in Edison, very close to where Nick grew up. And I remember it was March of 1994. I remember I was in 7th grade, and it was the night Wayne Gretzky broke Gordie Howe's all-time goal scoring record when he was playing with the Kings. I still remember this. 2:00 in the morning, we get a phone call from him, my mom and I, saying, "Get out of the house." All right, what's going on? So it turns out there was a pipeline explosion, and my dad's entire apartment complex literally melted. Didn't burn, melted. Not from the flames, but from the gas, the smoke, the intense heat, and he lost everything. And so I remember school closed for 2 days. That was the first time I ever saw him shed a tear, was when I saw him 2 days later. But yeah, he lost everything that he had, and took about a year and a half, I think, for him to, like, he was in a shelter for a little bit, his first time in a shelter. And yeah, that was a rough stretch for him to get through. But yeah, he definitely got through it. But yeah, wrong place, wrong time, and thank goodness for a good insurance policy.
Right.
And yeah, so
if you want to
come up with a funny twist, guys. That's your cue.
Well, if you want to take a funny twist and find a funny twist in that, I'm thinking, I don't know if Nick had this in his head. You can make the funny twist that it took losing his stuff in a fire to make him shed a tear, and it wasn't the separation of his marriage.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
brilliant.
all right,
It's not
here,
very-
I'll do it. I got a funny twist. As somebody who went through a separation, I'm legally still married 12 years later, 13 now this year.
Oh my God.
Legally still married to the kid's mom. We both hate paperwork, and we've had no reason to. Basically, I shed a tear when the storage unit defaulted and I lost everything from my entire life. We had agreed I would take care of bills, she'd take care of bills. I didn't cry over losing her. I cried over losing everything. So I can actually relate with that. And in my brain, I went, oh man, I've been through that. But that's all right. Enough with the fire stories here. Enough with Chicago fire, which I'm so pissed at NBC. You're putting new shows of Quantum Leap out every week. You're putting this new show with the guy. They promote the new show with the guy who used to be on Law and Order, black guy with the goatee. He does some show now on NBC, a new show with him. He was like one of the originals on Law and Order. Where the hell is Chicago Fire and Chicago PD? I know there's a writer's strike going on, but how are you producing some shows and not others?
I thought the strike ended by now. I thought it ended like a week or two ago.
Well, maybe they haven't produced them yet. They haven't filmed them yet.
It's ended, but some shows were in different places as others. You know.
I mean, I know one of us is in California, so he's pretty much our local reporter now, right?
Yeah, we're reporting here from California.
There you go. That's close enough.
But there's no. I think that different shows are in different parts of production, so some have a lot more and some don't. You know.
Yes.
Billy SBC wants us to talk Jets tonight. We don't know.
Yeah,
about
I saw.
We
Billy,
have no, what are these Jets you speak of?
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Go ahead. One of you guys talk.
Hasn't it all been said? You don't score points.
The defense is great. The offense sucks. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This feels like old times.
Yeah.
Special teams is fantastic. Yeah, fire this guy, fire that guy, cut this guy. Hey, let's sign Robbie Anderson. Does anybody actually want to bring in Robbie Anderson? Is there any who wants to do that? I think besides Matt O'Leary, God bless him. Does anybody really want that right now?
I mean, it doesn't.
And Harrison Bader and
It doesn't make sense that they didn't give Brownlee any opportunity to dress, but you get him because then you're saying this guy who has been cut for 2 teams now, who does barely anything, is better than Brownlee, who we decided to keep, on the squad. So yeah, it wouldn't say a lot if we signed him. It wouldn't say a lot about the guys that we kept.
What I would say is this: I'm seeing the highlight videos going around, and every highlight is between 4 and 7 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, can we please move on? Put it this way. If he couldn't work out in the Miami offense with that offensive line, the other pieces around him, what's going to happen when he comes over here and Zach Wilson's throwing him the football?
Yeah. It would be like the equivalent of signing Trevor Siemian. Oh, wait.
We did that. we did that, yeah.
Did we, though? Like, if you've never seen him, it's like, did we? Like, I'm waiting. It's one of those things that are in theory, right? It's like, oh, we have acquired Trevor Siemian. I haven't seen him in a jersey. I haven't seen a clip of him throwing a ball at practice. It's like one of those things that they just kind of threw the fans a bone. Like, here, shut up. We signed somebody.
Just to shut us up. Just to shut us up.
Yeah, it's
he's throwing the balls to Zach
Somebody from the house came
pretty
down to
much
ask
on
a
the
question.
practice fields.
That's what's happening.
Billy, you're new to the Friday Night Hangout. The Friday Night Hangout is less of a produced, formatted show, and we go wherever the conversations take us. That's what makes this different than all the other Jets shows. We will talk Jets. We do talk Jets, but there's no rush to get back on topic if we go on rants of fire or when we do the pop culture topic in a little bit, we'll do. Jared, do you have your 5 sitcoms? Did you work on that today at all? Your favorite 5 sitcoms of all time?
I didn't. I mean, I have them.
You don't have to do them now, but mental, work on it. We'll do it in a little bit.
I know them. I thought it's not the first time I've been asked to put myself to the challenge of knowing my favorite sitcoms. Like I thought about it because there's a few that really fight for like the top spot.
Yeah. Billy, put it this way: I can't guarantee you that this is water in the bottle right now.
I can guarantee you this is coffee. I can guarantee you that's coffee.
Do you ever think of releasing the 5 favorite sitcoms slowly throughout the show? Like we're going to do our number 5s or
see this is why this all right.
All right. This is
all right. Billy,
or honorable
I'm sorry.
mentions for that matter. I may have a few honorable mentions in mind, but I just hadn't.
Yeah, we could do honorable mentions too instead of the 5. Before we get to the 5, we could do honorable mentions of sitcoms.
I will, Jeremy, since it's your idea, you don't get to talk. Adam, go ahead.
No, it's your phone.
Jeremy.
Not my phone, it's the computer.
Give me shows. Name a couple of shows that maybe just missed your list.
Cheers.
Cheers just missed, huh?
Well, it's a great classic show. If I look at my list and I don't see it on the list, it's normal to say, "What about Cheers?" And I want to mention it because of the longevity of the show. It was a brilliant show. It led off to the spinoff of Frasier, which was a great show. Great characters that are still part of our, at least my generation's pop culture. I still wear a Norm.
Kirstie Alley just died this year too. I think that was sad.
That was sad.
Kirstie Alley just passed away, I think, this year, 57 years old.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I think I think it's worth mentioning. It started Woody Harrelson's career. So that was the launch of his career. So I mean, it was it's definitely, it would be to me a shame not to give it its due.
All right. Adam, you got a show that just missed. Do you have your list? Do you have a show that just missed it?
I got a list. Yeah, I actually had a couple that just missed it. But I will say one that I wanted to really put on here was The Cosby Show.
Oh, wait. All right. No cartoons. Cartoons are going to be a different one. So if you have a cartoon on there.
Okay. Because if you go to any like
different one. I just wanted to.
The Simpsons are always number 1. All right. So leave out Simpsons, King of the Hill, etc., etc. All right. Family Guy.
Yeah,
all
sorry,
that.
I saw
I-
DVH's question about the Simpsons.
Yeah, the way you reacted
So,
so
yeah,
quickly, I'm like, I didn't know
cartoons will
the
be a
Cosby
different.
Show was animated. But yeah, that show went on for a long, long time. To me, I don't think there's been a funnier pilot in the history of TV than that first Cosby Show. When Cliff Huxtable is playing Monopoly with Theo, and they're kind of breaking down spending money, growing up, being a regular person. Just one of the absolute funniest things I've ever watched in my life. And you know, and there are just so many iconic clips, whether it's Rudy like pantomiming Ray Charles and the Singers on "Nighttime Is the Right Time," baby. Oh my god! Wow! I mean, oh my gosh! So many great moments. It's one of those things where the greatest art is not always created by the people who have the best lives, the best resumes, or have the best stories, and that's just part of it, I guess. But it lasted a long time. It was must-watch TV, and yeah, the Cosby Show. I kept it just out of my top 5. There are a couple others, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned that one.
So I just have to mention, because you just talked about the first episode of the Cosby Show, so I have to mention this. I was with my family the filming of that episode.
Wow.
The first ever Cosby
Oh,
Show.
really?
Because my uncle was in the entertainment business, and he's the one that got us all into improv, because there was an improv troupe in New York. I think they still exist. They were called Chicago City Limits. And Chicago, because of his association with Chicago City Limits, which led to us all loving improv, we actually went to see Chicago City Limits perform that night. They did an improv show in that theater on the Cosby Show set. And then I was too young to understand what was going on, but then they said, okay, we're going to show you this Bill Cosby pilot, a pilot show with Bill Cosby. And we watched the recording. We watched the recording of that show. So me and my family were there. We watched that film live.
Mark, I had more sausage tonight, as a matter of fact, and it was amazing.
Nice. I saw the picture. It looked dope. So I got a couple that miss. I was, as a kid, infatuated with comedies. So a lot of the shows nowadays don't measure up to when I was a kid for either nostalgic purposes or how much I looked up to watching comedy and developing my outstanding wild sense of humor that I have now. So a lot of shows that missed could very well made it. Like, I debated The Cosby Show. I debated Cheers. These two shows go hand in hand for me. Growing Pains and Family Ties.
Yep.
They went hand in hand. And a show that I absolutely loved, which gets not a lot of popularity, but when you hear it, everyone will do the same thing. Oh, yeah. Mr. Belvedere. I loved Mr. Belvedere. I loved Mr. Belvedere. That song, when that song hits, man. They should do remixes of that in the club. No one will know it nowadays, but man, that song, Streaks on the China. Oh, fantastic when that hit. So those are the ones that just missed for me. More recently, Modern Family. I've always said that Ed O'Neill is the greatest father in television history, and he's now the greatest grandfather too from Modern Family. But I gotta see that show down the road and see if it still holds, So, all right,
I would say Married with Children.
Adam, you start off. Give me number 5.
Yeah, I would say Married with Children was on my honorable mentions as well. One other honorable mention I do have to mention is Police Squad. Going back to the early 80s, the genesis of Frank Drebin, played by Leslie Nielsen, which launched the entire Naked Gun franchise, but it only lasted 6 episodes. So, yeah, I had to mention Police Squad for sure. My number 5, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to give you a little sound effect, and I think you'll be able to figure out. I had to go with Home Improvement for number 5. While other people were watching Friends, watching Seinfeld, I was a Home
Heidi ho, neighbor.
Yeah.
Heidi ho, neighbor.
Well, hello, Tim.
Home Improvement. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
That's another one that just
absolutely.
misses.
Yeah. I like. Yeah, there's something about the show within the show, the blue collar family.
We
And
could have
then,
done this by
you know,
decade.
what?
We could have done 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh, we could
We could
have.
have done sitcoms because there's so many of them, right?
Yeah, but I think even
That's
though
a good
Home
one.
Improvement lasted 10 years, I think it gets overshadowed by Seinfeld, by Friends, by a lot of these other 90s sitcoms. Plus, Debbie Dunning is still one of my biggest crushes of all time.
Mess. I heard the sound the other night. I thought Wicker was doing Fat Albert.
Hey,
That's great. That's great. Chaos. Give me your number 5.
Well, before I do 5, I'm just going to throw out again. Just want to spit out the other ones. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. Just some great shows, right? And Different Strokes, Facts of Life. These were great childhood shows. I want to just pay them their respects. Technically, they weren't as funny as some of the, but I thought Three's Company, John Ritter once had a fight with a hammock, and it was just classic. It showed what a great physical actor he is, physical
Why don't
comedian.
you just go through my whole goddamn list, Jared? Jesus.
I was waiting for Jeremy to break out like Burns and Allen, Jack Benny. That's kind of the level we're going here.
Well, I was close to saying the Newhart show, like the last Newhart show that he did.
Of course.
When the 3 guys would come in and say, "I'm Larry, this is my brother Darryl, it's my other brother Darryl." It was pretty awesome. But I think number 5 for me,
Real
and
sex has some funny moments.
This show goes back for me to the 1970s. So this is one of those 70s sitcoms
The Odd Couple? Well, that was even before that, right?
Great one. That's a great one for reference. That was a great show, but I wasn't as passionately into that. Me and my family loved the show Soap. Now, Soap was a parody of a soap opera.
I know the name.
It started Billy Crystal's career. Billy Crystal was on it.
Okay.
And it was a sitcom, but staged like a soap opera. And every show was a cliffhanger, and you couldn't wait to the next week to see the next episode. But it was also the funniest show on TV at that time. Like, we would laugh and laugh and laugh. They had some great people, great cast that are all famous. They all did other things. It spun off the show Benson. If you remember that show, it was with a African American
Robert Guillaume, I believe his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yep.
He was on Soap, and then he spun off to his own show. But that was for me. That's my number 5.
All right, Nick, how about you? As Nick muted himself. Good job, Nick. Good job, host boy.
Oh, I had to mute. We got some stuff going on at the house. I'm sorry.
It happens.
So, lot of good
never.
shows.
Quick note: Harlan Abraham never really liked soap. Oh,
well, you should try it. Maybe you won't smell
That
so bad.
smell. That's what. There we go. Number 5 for me. It's like I have different stages of my life. So number 5, I'm going with Saved by the Bell. I absolutely couldn't wait to wake up on Saturday mornings and watch Saved by the Bell each week. I loved it. Shut up, bitch. My roommate called me a bad word. No, I'm not.
called you a preppy or something?
No, much worse. No, much worse. But yeah, I loved waking up. I love watching that show. I think if you were in my age group and that pre-teen, like, that was a show that was great to watch. So that's number 5. Let's get back into Mark. Very good one, Mark. Perfect Strangers.
I saw a live filming of that show as well. I was in California.
Nice.
Hey, Rusty Spooner, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Don't be ridiculous.
Rusty.
The one who knew the greatness of Kyle Phillips and Jared Patterson before anybody else did.
What's up, Rusty Spooner? I wish if Rusty's willing to come on live, Nick, that could be a good prospect.
Harlan, I've heard of it. That's the best I've got for you. I couldn't. Yeah, was that what Kevin McHale did after he retired from the Celtics? I don't know. Anyway,
McHale's Navy.
Yeah. So then we could. So yeah, we could do a little Jets talk. We can come back and do
Eminem was a great one.
Oh, that was
Hey, Mr.
Quarter.
Mr. Carter. Oh.
Up your nose with the rubber hose.
Give me drugs. Give me drugs. Give me drugs. The joke he would tell at the end of every episode. Oh. Gabe Carter. Gabe Kaplan.
All right,
Gabe Kaplan.
let's do 4.
All right.
I'm gonna do my number 4. Again, as a kid, I love this show. Happy Days. I absolutely love Happy Days.
Good show. Look.
But
See?
I mean, it's a show. I mean, and now when you look at it, like back then, Henry Winkler was the coolest guy to ever be on television. And he played that character so well. But in real life, he is the biggest fucking dork. Like, did you see him when he met Patrick Mahomes? He's like, hello, come over to the house. I'll make you a souffle. No, that's not what the Fonz said. Fonz like, yo, leave your wife. Let's go get bitches. But Henry Winkler in real life is such like him and Waterboy as the coach is him in real life, like
That's
shy
him.
and coy. And like the fact that he played the Fonz is the greatest acting job ever. It's up there.
Yeah.
And
The fact,
fun little
yeah.
side note is one of 2 puzzles I've ever gotten on Wheel of Fortune with no letters. It was actor and role, and it was, I looked at it and I was like, Henry Winkler is Arthur Fonzarelli. And my dad goes, shut the fuck up. Why do you talk? And then as the letters start coming in, my father's like, Gary, look at this. Look what this idiot just did. He's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I don't know. I just looked at the first. I was like, Henry. It had to be Az. I'm like, and Fonzarelli was a long name. And it came up, man. And my dad and I talked and laughed about that. He's like, I don't pay attention to shit that you said back then. I was in my young 20s. I was drunk all the time. He's like, and then you just like walking through the living room and you looked at the TV and said it.
Here's
So,
all you
that's
need
my
to know
number
about Fonz. It's the only sitcom character that I know of, at least, that has a statue built of him. There's like an actual Fonz statue in Milwaukee,
That's
Wisconsin,
before.
right on the river.
That's
on
Listen,
the
amazing.
River.
Miss Bliss was the teacher in Saved by the Bell, Mark. She had like the curly perm. I
Curly
think she had
blonde
a
hair,
spin-off,
yeah,
right?
played by Haley Mills. Yeah, so it was Good Morning, Miss
Eight
Bliss
is
that
enough.
got absorbed into Saved by the Bell.
It is enough. They had the best theme song.
Hogan Heroes.
Fill our life with
Cute.
joy.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not-
don't bring your video camera around that cast. Oh boy,
Hogan's Heroes was one of my middle brother, Matthew's.
there was some
Partridge
pervs. There was
Family.
a pervert too in that cast.
Hogan's Heroes was a classic.
Real original, Nick. That's like saying Dunkin' for top coffee. What comment is that for? Cute. I missed it.
Probably saying
I'm
that.
not
Oh,
sure
Dunkin's the worst. Dunkin' smells like cat piss. Is that because I have Happy Days up there in my top 5?
You know what? I mean, that's why I gave it an honorable mention.
I mean, that's a show that stands the test of time. If you go on Pluto TV right now, it has its own channel. You go to Classic TV, Family Ties, Three's Company, Happy Days, nonstop, 24/7. They have their own channel. It just plays those episodes.
I loved Happy Days, but more as a show than a comedy. Like, to me, at my age back then, it wasn't because of the laughing. It was just I loved the Fonz. I wanted to see him. I loved it when the scenes where he'd save them. He would save Richie and Ralphie and you know what I loved it. You know,
Yeah.
sticking up to bullies and all that stuff.
All right. Adam, number 4.
Okay, my number 4 has been mentioned in the chat a couple times, and this kind of became my go-to show really during the pandemic. I didn't really watch it at all when it was out, but I watched the whole series, I think, in a span of about 3 weeks, I think it was about 9 or 10 seasons, and it was Everybody Loves Raymond. I identify so much with that cast. Yeah, my Frank Barone is a lot like my grandfather. My Italian grandmother was like the opposite of Marie, which is so funny because my grandmother was like Edith. My grandmother's more like Edith Bunker, but still could cook like nobody's business. But seeing that family dynamic with the sarcastic, dry humor, it was interesting. It's like there was just enough tenderness there to where they cared about one another, but the foundation of it was almost like cutting each other down and sarcastic humor and these little quips here and there. but they knew exactly how to balance that out. Okay, I won't be able to sleep for the next week. Thank you, Kiyuka. But they transitioned they had some really good transitions from like episode to episode, how they were able to bring characters in, cycle characters out. But at the end of the day, yeah, that family unit was something else. And, you know, a lot of the characters from that show have since passed away. But I remember during 9/11, that was actually a big deal. It's like, you know, a lot of people said that was the show that kind of made them feel like everything was kind of getting back to normal again. It was okay because that episode came on, or that show came back on.
I say this as a Yankee fan, and you both know I'm a Yankee fan, and you both know my rivalry I had with my father, who was a Met fan, God rest his soul, to the point where I tried to put a Yankee hat in the casket with him, and my mother almost ripped my head off. During my eulogy, I wanted to put a Yankee hat in the casket. And Mike Piazza's home run on Friday night after 9/11, that was the moment that, like, that was the first. I'm not even a Met fan, but when Piazza hit that home run, I'll never forget where I was. We were at Riffy's Bar and Tavern in Woodbridge, New Jersey, which isn't there anymore. And that place erupted. People were hugging, crying. People who weren't even Mets fans. It was a moment for New York. And Mike Piazza's home run on that Friday night was the best. That was the thing for me. That was just like, all right, what's happening?
It may have been one of the most. It might be the most significant home run in Mets history. It might be. It's listed.
Yeah,
when they the great
it transcends sports.
Yeah, it transcends sports.
Absolutely, it transcends sports. It was a moment in time. It wasn't a sports moment. People who didn't even care about baseball, like, it was. You can't even put it into words what it did for us as New Yorkers or people from the area.
It was like a movie, like, and you know, kind of thing. You're right. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick, good news. Knicks win by 21 over the Wizards in that absolutely meaningless in-season tournament, which nobody cares about.
I don't. My Nick's here, and he's upstairs, and he's watching the Kings and the Spurs, and he's asking me questions about it. I'm like, well, I don't fucking know nothing about this, man. I'm like, get your phone and Google. Like, don't ask me any questions.
I did about a 10-minute rant video about that tournament and how ridiculous it is. It's just
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't get the point of it. Like, I don't know.
Trying to get a little bit of interest while football's going on. That's about the only thing I can think. Like, the team, whoever wins that in-season tournament, are they going to raise a banner to the roof of the arena? Can you imagine?
I don't know. Do you get a ring? Like, what do you get? Do you get a pat on the back? Do you get an attaboy? I don't.
I can't wait for that parade down the Canyon of Heroes. You know that's going to happen. The Nets are going to have it down Flatbush Avenue. The Knicks would have it down Broadway. Oh, can't wait for that one. Harlan Abraham, yep, you're definitely right. Peter Boyle.
Before we get
Frankenstein. Yep, fantastic. Oh, he was so good. So good. He was actually very
Jeremy,
close friends
before
with
we get
Ron
too
Lennon.
far off topic, give me your number 4. Did you shut everything off? Did you leave the light on?
My number 4, and this is just going to count these early ones. These are going to just give away. This gives away my age. A lot of these picks. My number 4 is All in the Family. I just, I mean, Mike yelling at Archie and Archie turning, you're a bigot, and Archie turns to him and says, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but you are one dumb Pollock." And like, when you have lines like that in the show, I mean, when you have him, when they're talking about members of his Moose Club and they say Freddie Solomon, and Mike looks confused and he goes, "Isn't he black?" And he goes, "Yeah." And Archie goes, and Edith goes, "And Jewish?" And Archie goes, "Yeah, it's perfect. You're a 2-time loser. We kill 2 birds with 1 stone." As far as their diversity. It was the funniest thing. And my favorite episode was when Edith did the commercial. All she had to do was pick the one pile of clothes, like for the laundry or whatever thing. And she kept picking the wrong one. And then she said she can't do it because it would be lying. And Archie like lost his shit. So yeah, I loved it. Right. All in the Family. And the spinoffs from that show were The Jeffersons and Archie's Place.
Archie Bunker's Place, yep.
All right, Jared, I love your idea. but I think we're in a rhythm with it right now, and I do want to get into football, and we're going to have someone come on in a little bit. Rusty's going to join us at 10. So I figure let's rip through these now, and then we can bring up some prospects, and we can talk with him about it. So Rusty, get a couple prospects you like in mind, and then we'll throw you some questions. Give us some offensive guys, defensive guys, and maybe somebody that nobody's heard about yet, whatever deep dive you've done so far. Number 3. Jeremy, lead us off with number 3.
Number 3 for me is Seinfeld.
All right.
Yada, yada, yada. And then Matt, and Adam went, basically. There's a million lies you could pull. It was part of the culture. The show became part of culture. It was one of the things that when you went to work the next day, everybody copied and did. The water. I sat by the water thing. Obviously, you guys are not surprised by that after that episode, and started doing yada 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 and doing all that stuff. I was like whatever they did in that show, I brought to the office the next day. I literally ordered a calzone to work. So I could say calzone, the calzone, yummy, yummy, calzone. Just a classic show. And I dance like Elaine, by the way. Elaine made being a horrible dancer cool.
I just did that in ShopRite last night. Turkey Hill ice cream had 2 for $5. And when I took them out, I started dancing in the aisle with the Turkey Hills in each hand. Jody looks at me. She goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "Just pretend my thumbs are up. I'm doing the Elaine."
Just make sure you don't double dip the chips. As long as you don't do that, you're okay.
No soup for you.
I wasn't a Seinfeld guy. I wasn't. I loved Kramer, but I didn't like Jerry. Still don't. Would stand up anything. I'm not a Jerry guy. I know that gets heat and hate from a lot of people, and I'm not saying it to get shock value. Just I don't know. I didn't. You'll know when you hear my number 3 why maybe I wasn't so much of a Jerry guy. But all right, there's the tease. I'll go into it right now. My number 3 is King of Queens. I love Kevin James. I love Arthur Spooner.
You love any Spooner.
Yes. I love to spoon her. Me and Nick's mom were Doug and Carrie, and her dad was Arthur. He would scream at me. He would yell at me. We had such a great relationship that was us. The Italian girl, even though I guess on the show, not Italian, but Carrie was Italian, right? Arthur was a nut. Doug was an airhead and a sports guy and loved drinking beer and hanging with the boys and picking on people and putting himself in bad situations because of his mouth. So it was our family, and it was just fantastic. And and he was a Jet fan, so that was big. But I don't know. I liked more of the family shows and the comedies than the than Seinfeld. It didn't hit for me. But Adam,
my number 3 is going to be a show that I haven't heard anybody mention yet, but we're going to go way back in time to the late 1960s. This to me was a pretty groundbreaking show. I know we're going back old school, so right in your guys' wheelhouse. And for me, the show is Get Smart. One of the absolute funniest shows. It was Inspector Clouseau meets James Bond. Don Adams with the voice, with the gadgets, the dynamic that he had with him, with 99, who became his wife, and Chief, played by Edward Platt. The reason why none of the sequels could ever live up to that is because Edward Platt passed away very shortly after the series ended. And the way he and Don Adams would play off one another, Maxwell Smart and the Chief, it was some of the funniest dynamic, how Don Adams would drive Edward Platt absolutely crazy. The Cone of Silence, just so freaking hysterical. The physical comedy, the puns. But the thing is, Don Adams Maxwell Smart thinks he's a genius, but he becomes like an actual nincompoop, yet he manages always to figure it out at the end. And then you add in the great villains like Siegfried and Staka. just Bernie Capel from Love Boat. I mean, hearing the accent, I mean, you can't listen to him and not try to imitate him. It's like, you stupid, you sissies. I actually have, it's the only, here's all you need to know. It's the only TV show where I have every episode on DVD, the entire box set, everything saved.
Really?
Yeah, the whole thing. Like watching Nick at Night. My goal was to stay up late enough with my dad where I could watch Nick at Night and we can watch Get Smart together. So I love it.
Number 7 or number 9 what was his wife's number 9? What was his wife's name? Like number 9 or what?
99. Initially it was going to be 69, but they figured out pretty early that was not going to be a good idea. So they made it 99.
That's just
Jared, what you got for number 3? You did your number 3 already, right?
Right.
Yeah, I finished off the 3s.
Right.
On to the 2s.
All right. I'll start off number 2. The Office. I love The Office. I've watched The Office through so many times. I've introduced Jody to it, and we are mid-season 2 right now. Nick, you down here?
Okay.
No. Here he comes. I had a joke to make. Damn it. You always show up at the bad time.
What?
Nah, I was just going to make a joke, and you walked in.
Hey, Tigo.
You little bitch.
Tigo just stopped in.
No, it doesn't work with the green screen, jackass. Sit the fuck down. So the Office. Sophia loved The Office. In 2020, when she was 9, we watched The Office through during the pandemic. She would get her schoolwork done, or we done by 10:30, and we either sat there. I gave her the choice every day. I was like, "What are we watching?" Our goal during the pandemic was to watch every WrestleMania through, starting at 1. I think we made it to 22, and then we watched The Office all the way through as well. So we'd like alternate days. Like she would like sit there, The Office. I'm like, all right, we're watching The Office. We wouldn't move for hours. So it's the bonding too with her, and she's got Dwight stuff hanging up in her room. Give me a second. Why do you?
That's what she said.
By the way, guys, there is no truth to the rumor that I am actually Ryan from The Office, but I have been told this.
Nice. Nice. So, yeah, The Office is my number 2. Jared, give me number 2. Hey, Tigo, what's up, pal?
My number 2 is Taxi.
Oh, okay.
The show that gave us Danny DeVito, Tony Danza, Judd Hirsch, Christopher Lloyd, Andy Kaufman.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Mountain Woman, Cinca, who ended up being on Princess Bride, and and it was on the latest Star Trek series as the engineer. I mean, there's so many people that came out of that show. It's unbelievable. Whoever cast that show, that should have been a career-making thing for them, because the star quality that came out of that show is unreal. But just moments that were, I think, changed TV as far as making you laugh. Christopher Lloyd taking the driving test and saying, "What do you do with a yellow light?" Just that was a moment people talked about forever. It's just an iconic moment on TV. And then, when they wanted to go to the auction to buy the painting and they needed good seats, they wanted to sit in the front, and they said, "Oh, there's too many people, there's no room up there." And Danny DeVito goes up and starts hacking and coughing and chases everybody away. I could sit all day, but anyway, yeah, to me, Taxi, I could watch it right now. I can go on to Hulu or whatever, or I forgot what, it's one of those, and I could just watch Taxi when I'm bored for hours. It's just an amazing, amazing series.
All right. Everyone did number 2? Adam, you did 2, right?
I haven't done my number 2 yet.
All right, go ahead. I see you in the back. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, my number 2 is one that was already mentioned. My number 2 is Seinfeld. It was must-watch TV. You couldn't. It was one of those things. I think it was already said very well. You had to watch it. It has left legacies. It has literally created new words and new phrases. I mean, before that, nobody knew what shrinkage was. Well, we knew what shrinkage was. It just didn't have an actual the The word hadn't actually been coined yet, but everything from yada, yada, yada to no soup for you to I'm out and to teaching us the absolute greatness that is Kenny Rogers Roasters chicken, which I still wish was around, but it was amazing chicken. I think the one reason why I didn't make it number one is because the finale was so disappointing. When nobody cares about spoilers at this point. The fact that they all end up in
But here's
jail
the thing, though,
for
the finale was so bad. It was so bad that it's legendary to discuss. It's kind of like the Sopranos ending. It left you so unfulfilled.
Yep.
That it's more to talk about with it being the way it was, right? Even I know that was an event. You had to watch that. I watched the finale, even though I wasn't a fan.
Absolute must watch. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really discover Seinfeld until years after it was done. I knew about it, but I didn't really watch it. It's only after that but I did not miss the finale. I still knew who everybody was. And there were a lot of quite a few people got some big roles on that series as well. But I mean, they got away with so much stuff like the contest, but they were able to do it in such a way. They never actually said masturbation or anything like that, but they were able to get all around it where you knew what they were saying, and it was still done in a way that was approachable but risque at the same time. That was genius.
It was genius. It was just such a brilliant show.
Yeah, it was.
Before we get to our number ones, we got to bring in someone who we learned last week or the week before does know anything about quality movies before 2015.
Oh my God.
Our buddy Tigo.
Quality the movies that you guys were recommending were quality movies.
Let me update Adam. You didn't watch Old School. You didn't watch.
No.
There's so many movies that we listed. I texted him a list of movies. Have you watched any that I sent you?
He didn't text me anything.
He saved himself with me.
I did.
Tigo,
you check your text. I texted you a list of movies during the show.
Tigo saved himself with me because he loves Search for the Holy Grail, Monty Python.
So November 10th at 9:46 p.m.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Sent you
a bunch
Old School, Super Bad, Super Troopers, Wedding Crashers, and Meet the Parents as your homework.
Meet the Parents. Come on, you gotta watch that.
You haven't seen Meet the Parents?
I might have, but like, don't sit here.
No, he saw Meet the Fockers. He saw the backup. He saw number 2. He mentioned that he saw parts of Meet the Fockers,
but not
like you're also acting as if like Meet the Parents. Sorry, not Meet the Fockers. You're acting like Meet the Parents is like a generational masterpiece that if you haven't watched it,
where's my car? There's another one you haven't seen.
It's a mediocrely made comedy.
But I will say, okay, Meet the Parents, no. But if you hadn't, Tigo, have you seen Airplane?
Dude, I don't know. I watch good movies.
Oh, I don't know you any. Tigo, just for that, Max Mitchell sucks. I can't talk to you. I'm out of here.
That was made 15 years before I was born.
It was 1 year before I was born in 81. It's okay. Oh my God! Have you seen The Wizard of Oz? That was born half a century before you were born, but I bet you still.
Yes, but Wizard of Oz is a classic. There are books written about that movie. Like.
Best part of that movie? Am I just going to give my answer?
Autographed.
There are movies.
What's my favorite part of that movie?
Cocaine.
Everyone? What's my favorite part of Wizard of Oz? Everyone? The midgets.
The midgets.
That's where my midget obsession started, with the Munchkins coming in.
Oh, I thought it was.
My father would do the impersonation of the Lollipop Kids.
Oh.
Not the Oompa Loompas.
Oh, who mentioned Alf? Mark mentioned Alf.
Okay.
Ronald Perry, I'm very upset with you right now. Ronald Perry, I'm very upset with you.
What's up with Home Improvement?
So
Harlan, I agree.
We'll do our number ones right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go first. A show that I could sit, laugh at, enjoy. It was a family show. It was a show you didn't want to watch with the family as you started to have hormones and the tops that Christina Applegate would wear. The lack of bras that they put on her as she became an older teenager. I just rewatched the series and I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize like analog TV was shit in the 90s and the 80s. Man, this upgrade to HD made her look so much better. But the show Rescue 911, one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. People in horrible. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Married with Children, man. Married with Children, to me, is the epitome of family life. But sometimes you get a family and you don't all get along, but it's your family, and you can make fun of them, and you can be mean to them. But if anybody stepped out of line and tried to mess with Al's family, they got their teeth knocked in. Like, this is my people. I don't like them. You're not allowed not to like them. And then
I have a reason to not like them.
That's my number one, Married with
Didn't-
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
live
one.
with them.
Love
I
that.
love
If you go
watching
back to when I
people
muted
react
myself and saw my
Married with
face when
Children.
the boy came down here and I yelled at the boy, I muted myself. So fucking, like, anyone else like gives my son a bad look, I'm putting them through a wall. But I'm allowed to yell at him because he's mine. So, all right, Adam, give me yours.
Yeah. Married with Children, I will say, was an honorable mention. I definitely had in my top 10. I just like watching people who are like 20-something years old react to watching the clips of Married with Children. It is
It was so good.
it is fun to watch, I will say
I
that.
grew up on Married with Children. It's one of my dad's favorite shows.
Little British teenage girls, God bless them. Oh yeah, the shoes. Mark is so right. The shoe salesman. Yeah, I tell you to your face, my car's only got half a tank of gas. Oh my God, he was unbelievable. My
That was
number
so
one
good.
was mentioned by the gentleman on my far left. As a matter of fact, my number one was All in the Family. Absolute groundbreaking show again. That basically set television on its ear. It was controversial then. Imagine what it would be now when, you obviously can't say a whole heck of a lot anymore. But the funny thing is, you could take either side, either way, and you could still justify it for whatever your argument is. But at the end of the day, there was support. It wasn't even that far off from Married with Children, but it was just a little bit slightly different dynamic. But when you think about the different things where like Sammy Davis Jr. comes on and he kisses Archie on the cheek, the reaction of that was just unbelievable. It was, and I saw it in the comments earlier. Harlan Abraham, all of Norman Lear's shows were really, really good. Norman Lear's still around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many other great characters. Like Lionel was fantastic. The Jeffersons, getting Sherman Helmsley involved, unbelievable. But nobody could have pulled off Archie like Carol O'Connor did. And to me, there's no better character, I think, in the history of sitcoms than Archie Bunker.
I agree. That's the most iconic character I think ever historically. It should be, at least. He was. When you watch him in that police movie afterwards, he plays a Texas cop or whatever.
And Sanford.
That was nothing to do with Archie Bunker. I mean, crazy.
I know there's a little glare on this, but here's a TV crossword puzzle that I did, and you can kind of see. Here's Archie. Yeah, we got Archie right over there. So, yeah. I
mean, to this day,
Nice.
like in older households with grandparents, there's still jokes about one of the chairs. Like, you're not allowed in that chair. And whenever somebody thinks about that, like a chair that's only dad's chair or grandpa's chair, it right away brings you back to All in the Family because Archie's chair. Like, no one's allowed to sit.
I've seen the chair. It's in the Smithsonian in DC. Yeah,
Wow.
so I have seen the chair up. You can't sit in it, obviously, but it is still it still exists, and it's being.
Of course not. It's Archie's chair.
It's Archie's chair. Do you have a chair?
He explains
Archie.
the explanations.
Archie.
The explanations of how he'd win arguments with Mike were the best. Like why you shouldn't be tucked in under the blanket and you have to be able to flap the blanket open. He says, what if you have gas? You have to be able to
You remember the one sock, one shoe?
Yeah, you'd be hopping around like a moron.
And of course, I was completely on Archie's. Yes, sock, then shoe. And Archie's and Meathead is sock, shoe. And they both think they're completely right. And that's just the beauty of it. And you can
sock, shoe people should be in prison. Those are murderers. Those are
I'm back.
murderers.
Yeah, I'll see you.
They were brilliant about
You
making.
balance, you even it.
They were brilliant about making Mike annoying in a way. Like they just played that like kind of character he was, and they knew how to bring those little nuances to make him annoying. Like he goes sock shoe, like he did the way he ate. Like sometimes R2 would watch him eat, and he'd go, "What?"
They eat the cuisine. And he's like eating everything one at a time. He's like, you need a little balance. See, that's why your hero sandwich is your perfect thing because you get your meats and your sauces and your vegetables, and it's all balanced. Speak, I need a hero sandwich right now.
All right, Jack, give me your number one.
My number one is Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's a good one.
It
Nice.
is the funniest show I have ever watched. I love it now to this day. I go on Instagram and they show clips of that show, and you could take any minute of that show and it's a fucking Instagram clip. It's just so funny. It's so funny.
What's
and
up,
I
Boogie
love
Down?
it.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
And I could sit there and watch that show, and for a half an hour, I love every scene. I just never gets old to me. I just love that show.
That's good. I debated Entourage.
That was great.
Entourage is
Jeremy
a sitcom.
Piven. I know, but there's a lot of comedy to it. It's a half hour. It's what would you call it?
It's not a sitcom.
What would you classify it though? There's a lot of comedy in it. Ari Gold is one of the greatest television people of all time. What would you call it? A drama?
It's more drama than sitcom.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like it's just not a
But
sitcom.
I debated. Like, I don't know what
It's a good
category
show.
to put it in though. Like it's not like when we did TV dramas last week. I didn't think it classified there. Like I think it's sitcoms
It's
is
in
half-hour shows.
It
I
sits
know,
in its
that's
own
what-
little
that was my
category of
dilemma. I was such a
Comedy
big
drama,
fan.
right? It's a comedy drama.
Yeah,
It's comedy. We could have that list
Dramedy.
too for next.
so dramedy.
Yeah, it's a dramedy. Yeah, that's actually it. Yeah.
All
You know?
right.
Wouldn't be the first.
I
Let
guess
me see.
now that I'm sitting in here and thinking about it, it feels wrong. But Entourage is technically a sitcom. That feels wrong to
Right?
say. You're right. It's a 30-minute show. Situational comedy happens in the
But
show.
no,
quite
it
often.
was like 23 minutes because by the time they did the opening, and like it was a 23-minute boom, in and out, no commercials.
Yeah. You
It
laughed
started
while you
at
were
like
there,
9
and
or
then
10:03 and it ended by 10:25.
oh my god, is Entourage a
Right?
comedy? A sitcom?
With
It's just-
Ari Gold and Lloyd,
listen,
I wish
listen,
Ari and Lloyd had a spin-off together.
The uniqueness
It's
is
tough to classify it, right?
tough to classify because it's also kind of like a guy's movie. Like, it's like kind of like Sex in the City. Is that a comedy?
No,
I mean,
I think women who watched it, like my ex watched it. I think women who watched it would say, "Oh my god, I laughed all the time. I laughed all the time watching Entourage."
Right.
Johnny
It almost-
Drama is one of the funniest, stupidest
Yeah,
people
but
that ever exist on
laughing-
television.
a comedy and a sitcom are different things, right? That's why they exist as
Correct.
different genres.
Correct.
But what
I
you're
get-
saying is,
But like, what
About
category do you
Entourage,
put
you're
it in?
right.
Like, if you have to put it in a category, go ahead.
no, but like now that you mentioned it, and now that I sat with it, because the initial reaction is to be like, no, it's not. Entourage isn't a sitcom, and then you're like, wait, is it? Is it a sitcom?
Is it?
Oh my god! And then you just you
I
dwell
want
on it more.
everyone in the chat, right? I want everyone in the chat, Adam and Jeremy, you are my witnesses. There was a discussion where I spoke to Tigo and made him change his point of view.
No, I'm not
It's the
saying
first
it's a sitcom.
time that anyone has ever made Tigo.
Gunny does it all the time.
I'm gonna get
He
a
has
text at like
real fun-out
3:37 in the morning. Motherfucker, you're right. It is a sitcom.
arguments. Nah,
What's next?
dude.
Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is that where we're going next year?
Oh, I can answer
Well,
that.
yeah, it is
Uh,
a Christmas movie.
Well, next week is Black Friday, so
Oh my god!
We'll
Oh,
have
boy.
the game. Everyone will be doing shows. So we'll see. The game goes well. I'll hop on. I'll come on 8, 9 o'clock. The game will be over by 6:30. Everyone will do the recap shows. It should die down by 8, 8:30.
Nah, people
can
will
hang
all be
next
going
week.
getting trampled at Walmart's.
Not our group. Not our chat. I don't see
Dude,
any of our
is
people going out 8,
Entourage a
9 o'clock on
fucking
Black Friday.
Sitcom?
Tigo,
Nick,
you
I'm gonna
okay?
be
Look at
up
this.
all night. I'm gonna be up all night thinking about this.
Hold on.
This is why I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
I want to watch him go through the struggle. I'm giving him solo cam to watch him go through the struggle on his own right now.
I gotta be honest. I'm feeling weird. I'm used to seeing Tigo in the video game chair. I mean, this is just like I'm seeing Tigo in a whole new context right now.
They're
Tigo, what's
fixing
on
the
your left
floors
on that
at our
shelf?
house.
Are those boxes of different sized cigars?
I thought they
No,
were board
they're the what's the song from Christmas? One partridge in a pear tree, two turtle doves, three
Okay.
French hens.
I thought those were
It's-
different sized cigars, and I was like, that is the greatest home ever.
No, this is my mother's office. They're redoing all of the floors in our house, so we're out of the house for the weekend.
Okay.
Hence
Oh,
the laptop and the different office. So we
Okay.
brought all the kiddos to the grandparents' house to hang out here for the next 2 to 3 days while they're doing the floors.
I can't bring in paid comedies. Yeah, and it's tough to put network sitcoms against anything on cable because of what they can say and what they can do. Sometimes adding a curse to the character that you don't think would curse is funnier. But Rusty, if you're watching, check your email, bro.
Rusty.
I'll give Rusty a little airtime. We'll go over some draft guys, and then if Johnny is still here, we'll bring in Johnny. I'm gonna wrap it up at 11.
Who's Johnny?
That is what he-
And smiles in us.
Yeah, I know Johnny always wants to hang. Mark, you
Johnny-
want to hang? You haven't been on in a while. Are you in bed, Mark, or are you up for hanging out for a bit?
Do you remember Mark saved our show? Do you remember we were completely wasted? I ate the cookies, peppermint patties, and we were, and he just like had to ring us back in. He goes, "Guys, remember we're on a YouTube show. It's about the Jets."
Mark and
I remember when I still had like a relatively small channel and we were doing a hangout. No, like when I did, like when I had like 50 or 60 subs, I think it was like the second or the third show I had ever done with Jeremy. And I think it was us four. And it just went off the rails. We were talking about, I tried to keep us focused on the Jets, and it was nothing but like you could tell Jeremy ate something off screen, and it just the whole the whole show was just that's what she said. Every 6 seconds, it was.
That sounds like us.
Tigo, the problem is you're asking us to remember one time that the show went off the rails.
No, of course, it's
As if that
always
only
off the
happened
rails.
once.
No, it goes off the rails regularly. It's
I-
just there's one specific where I remember.
it's odd for me
where I
now
was
to
still-
be sitting. I used to bring out 2 24-ounce Pabst Blue Ribbons at a time. And then like 10 minutes later, I'd be getting up and you guys be like, where the hell are you going out? I'm like, oh, these 2 are done. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Or I'd be yelling to the boy, hey, go give me 2 more.
I remember those.
Oh,
I
now I
remember-
can sit through a full show. I can have coffee. I got my water jug. I could sit through a 2-hour show and not have to get up and pee 12 times.
I remember just making fun of you because you have pizza and a hero and French fries, and I'd always be like, "Why French fries? Like why would you?"
Oh,
roast
the
anything
meatball. Oh, I miss the Jersey
on
Pizza Boys,
French
man.
fries?
I will be right back.
You need
Oh,
a
man.
side, right? You get a meatball parm, you get a chicken parm, you need a little bit on the side.
Yeah, pasta. You fucking moron.
I kind of agree with Jeremy on this one.
Knowing what Huff and
Mark, do
JJ
you want to
are
hang?
now,
Do you want to come in?
Or another player in the first instead of McDonald.
Oh, sorry.
Get back to us in 2 years. Yeah, I mean, get back to us in 2 years because we're gonna be a couple of these. Can
You
we?
hope
Are we
he
keeping
develops.
Huff first of all?
You hope he
That's the first.
develops. You hope he puts on size. You hope he puts on muscle. You hope he. You could find receivers that come in and hit now all the time. Like the development of these guys, they're pro ready, the pro style offenses that colleges run. Is Will McDonald a home run right now? No, of course not. But the way JJ and Huff have developed and the way they coach these guys is very encouraging to see what they could be.
And if they've helped to make Huff and JJ this good, why can't they do the same with McDonald? It's all about building the pipeline, building the next guy, establishing this is how we do business. This is how we develop players. You bring in the pipeline so you can commit your money elsewhere. And, you're bringing up these young guys while they're cost controllable and you're building up that pipeline. That's the whole idea. I actually think that the idea was they drafted McDonald with the expectation they would not keep Bryce Huff after this season. I think that's what they had in mind. I would venture to say I don't think they expected Bryce to make the jump that he's made. And now they have a decision.
You knew you were losing loss. And Tiga, I muted you. I muted you because you just had so much noise going on. You're good. You're back on.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I think they knew that they weren't going to keep Huff.
Yeah, you knew Lawson was expiring. Huff could have walked. I think we all agree Huff is a must sign. And we were talking about possibly you could get out of JFM's contract, right? So we were all looking at it as like, you could be down 3 edges. Clemens hasn't developed into an edge. He's like a rundown edge, but he's not a pass rushing edge.
Special teams
so
player,
you got to keep the factory going because you don't want to spend $30 million and edge rushers don't hit the fucking market. So you're going to have to keep drafting them and then keep the pipeline going.
Yeah. And I think
love that Mark keeps
people
asking
forget
questions, but hasn't replied to my question. Hold on one second. I love that Mark has like 6 comments in the chat, but hasn't acknowledged me asking him 3 times now. Mark, do you want to come on and hang out? Go ahead, Tigo.
No, what I was going to say is like the other thing is one of the reasons our defense is so successful is because of the wave after wave after wave after wave of pressure that we can go out there. Like the reason Huff is considered the reason Huff is being thrown around by very unintelligent people, in my opinion, as someone who's going to make $20 million a year. And if we don't sign him to $20 million, blah, 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 it's a mistake. Is because of the fact that, well, on the hard downs for the offensive linemen, they're facing what real edges are. And then Huff can come in and he is purely a pass rusher. That's what he is. He is a pass rusher through and through. He's not an edge player. He's not a defensive end. He should not be in the same class as JJ and JFM, at all, because they're not the same player. Bryce Huff is a pass rusher. And that's what Will McDonald is without as much experience. People forget that Huff's been in the league for 4 years. Will McDonald is an athletic freak. And so I think you absolutely look at it, and GMs don't look at when they're drafting, what does the team need right now? They look at what does the team need in 2 years. And in 2 years,
what
we need
to do with this player long term. And they're looking at Will McDonald and we can develop this guy to be a wrecker.
Exactly. And that's the whole point. And it's one of those things where, I kind of agree with Modine. Depending on how this draft goes and depending on where the Jets are picking, I would not be surprised if the Jets take an edge in the first round. It's not something that's outside of the realm of possibility. We don't need the offensive lineman. We don't need a first-round offensive lineman. While I would like to use that asset on a wide receiver, this wide receiver class in free agency should be really good. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, there's a lot of guys that are going to slip free. So if you can bring in
Or
one of
you
those
trade
guys,
for Devontae finally.
that contract, they can't move on from him this year. I know people, the pipe dream, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't think you can move on from that contract this year. But with all of that being said, the wide receiver class in free agency, and we've seen that spending money at wide receiver, not with the Jets because like the Corey Davis contract didn't work out all that great, but we've seen that like allocating assets to the wide receiver room in terms of contract isn't all that bad of a way to go about business, because those contracts
Yeah.
are wide receivers are short-term assets and they should be looked at short-term assets. So now if you're back in the first round, you fixed your wide receiver room with a Mike Evans or a T. Higgins or a Tyler Boyd. You're looking in the first round. Well, if you bring back Mekhi Becton, there's your offensive line taken care of. What do
Your
you?
exterior.
What's left?
Yeah.
What's left? No, your whole
Jeremy,
offensive
give me your
line is
thoughts.
taken care of.
I mean,
I
look,
think you still cut Tomlinson post June 1st and then get out of
You
that deal.
can't.
But I'll
Look,
go my turn. Jeremy, go ahead.
I mean, look, it's hard to talk about the draft. Chico brings up a good point until you see free agency and how that plays out, right? Like we were all crazy center.
Sure.
Oh my God, we're dead if we don't get a center. And then we signed McGovern before the draft. And we were like, oh, there's a lot less pressure. We still took Tippmann, but if he wasn't there, if the two centers we loved were gone, we had the backup plan with McGovern. He actually started the season. So it's a good point. I mean, I'll say right now, we need another wide receiver. We thought Garrett Wilson might miss this
Desperately.
point. Who is our number one going to be? Alan Lazard? I mean, we desperately need another wide receiver that's competent. But that doesn't mean draft. That doesn't mean draft. If there's a good free agency class, we could bring in that other wide receiver. That's legitimate. If we don't, then I'll go into the draft thinking we need a wide receiver. If
100%.
we get one, then I'm going in thinking we don't need one. If we retain Becton and we know he's coming back, then we start to think, okay, and let's say they sign another AVT's going to come back as a tackle. Then I'm thinking, yeah, Tippmann could stay at guard. We could draft a center in the third round and get someone ready to start. Who knows? So there's a lot.
Bring back McGovern.
Right, we could bring back McGovern. A lot of questions have to be answered before we know exactly what we need in the draft. And then there's always the possibility, if it's the right one, we go quarterback. There's the possibility. If somebody slips to wherever we pick, and there is a couple of guys that are, that might be enticing, that might be there at 17, 16, whenever we pick. So I don't know. But we may be even having that discussion. Are we going to possibly take a quarterback with, obviously, unlike Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers involved in that conversation?
And he should be. I still think that should be the plan round one. I think if you go into this draft, regardless of where you're picking, whether it's 15, we didn't make it to the playoffs, or it's 22, we make it to the playoffs and, we lose in the wild card round or whatever it is. I look at this draft class and I go, objectively speaking, our football team, if you get a wide receiver, is not all that bad. The biggest need that this team has is wide receiver. We're still really good on the defensive side of the ball. We're not really losing any of the important pieces on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, we have to remember that the last two people are freaking out about the offensive line because they have short-term memories. People are freaking we have had two back-to-back historically catastrophic years on the offensive line. That's just the probability of having that happen for a third year.
Don't say it. It's the Jets.
I'm not going to. Hey, we're way far, right?
Is what it is.
But it's still one of those things to think about where it's it's absolutely insane to think that we're going to continue to use these super high assets on the offensive line when on our offensive line right now, we have millions of dollars on it in terms of free agent acquisitions, if we include
Millions?
Becton, because we're gonna have to re-sign him. But then we have 2 first-round picks on the offensive line. We have a second-round pick on the offensive line. We have a $30 million contract, whether you think he deserves it or not. I think LT has been playing much better this year. And you cannot get rid of Laken Tomlinson.
No, he's locked.
Because now the offensive line is a massive problem. Because now you need 2 guards instead of 1. Right? 1 guard you can find in the 3rd round. 2, now you're going back to free agency.
Well,
so
you
now
have you have Vera Tucker. You have Vera Tucker at tackle in this scenario going forward.
Vera Tucker has been told by the New York Jets staff that he is being brought in to be a tackle next year.
Okay.
He was told that the week he
Okay.
got injured that he's the right tackle of the future. So it's one of those things where it's just like, and then let's not forget that we've used, a 4th round pick on Max Mitchell, a 5th round pick on Carter Warren, and you keep using all of these picks on offense. We're still going to take an offensive lineman next year, but just because you think you need
It's the
depth
lighting,
at something
yeah.
doesn't
It's
mean
the lighting.
that you need a 1st round pick to go into that offensive line. And so I look at it and I go, this legitimately might be the best quarterback class we've seen
I hear you.
in a long time. And at wherever you're picking,
Yeah. I agree.
Oh,
Adam,
you can get a really, really good kid who can sit behind Rodgers, like legitimately. So it's the way that I look at it.
Adam, go ahead, chime in.
I just see some trolling going on in the chat that is just like, don't even want to give the attention out. I don't even want to think about I'm not even there to think about next season already. I guess I'm still holding on to the outside hope that something could still happen this season. I mean, I feel like if I start to look ahead, we start breaking down next year and everything like that we're giving up on this year.
I don't think that. I have full hope in this year. I'm just crazy. So I'm evaluating prospects.
Well, we knew that. Welcome to the club. Get
Give
line
moderator
behind me.
so I can clean this up.
But oh boy, but I do agree with what you said. I don't think we realize.
Make me a moderator so I can clean this up. The trolling. Just highlight me on if you have YouTube.
I don't see it.
I don't know. Just we should try to. I hope we try to get Caleb Williams. How the hell are we getting Caleb Williams? Come on,
That's so dumb.
it's just
Caleb Williams should be the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. We're talking about base straight up value. He should be the 3rd overall pick.
By the way, I could definitely take Twisted on in a boxing match. Like if they threw us in a ring together, I could take Twisted out. Just saying. Just want to get that guy all riled up. It's fun.
Put it this way. I hope we don't give.
All right. Well, we got a little low here. Let's bring in
Savage. He gave. You know why he named himself Savage?
Why
because
we got?
He loves Long Beach Joe.
Well,
calls him Savage.
Nice.
He
Since we got a little low here, I rearranged the cameras, and you're probably asking, why did he put this format up there? Well, it's to bring in our good friend, the master of moderators, Mr. Mark Reese. What's up, buddy?
What's up, boys? What's going on, man?
Master of mods.
I love that even though you joined the show, you still have the stream on the television, and I'm still getting the view. So thank you for that.
What's going on, guys?
This is picture-in-picture action right here.
You see it? Is it blurry? No, which way is it? There we go.
You're good.
I don't know how to compare and contrast two characters with different points of view.
With 5 of us in here, this way we're not talking all over everybody. Let me throw it around to everyone. If you guys in the chat have any questions, throw them out there. We'll throw some questions around.
Put a Q in front of him so then they can see it because he's blind.
Shut up, Nick. What the fuck you laughing at? That made my son laugh, Tigo. You're a dick. He's in bed, and I hear. That was good. All right, so I'll throw it out. Let's start talking about the game on Sunday. What do we know? We know that Josh Allen in the last 3 games against this defense has struggled. We know that Josh Allen is impatient. We know that Josh Allen wants to make the big strike. We know that if you make Josh Allen play a smart check down game, he will get frustrated. And the second he gets out of the pocket, he wants the big play. That plays to our strengths. That plays to what we do well against him. We'll give him the check downs. We'll give him to the running backs in the flat. We'll bracket probably Kincaid a lot and Diggs. And then everyone else, their speed. They're not much over the middle. Like Gabe Davis, deep you worry about. Okay, you could 2 safeties back. You can contain that, right? The rookie has a lot of speed and crossing routes. That worries me if they're running that crossing route at CJ. I'll be honest. So let's just talk about the defense for now. With everyone here, let's try to keep the commentary less than a minute. What's up, Tigo?
I want to actually back up a point that you said, because I think you said something about Josh Allen, but so Joe Brady is now the new offensive coordinator, and all of the things that you said about Josh Allen, about him wanting to take the deep shot outfield, about him being impatient, about him being throw happy, and all of those things, all of those same attributes can be also given to Joe Brady. Joe Brady was fired from Tennessee. I believe it was Carolina, was fired from Carolina.
Yeah.
Because he didn't run the ball enough. Right? Like they wanted to be a run first team. Like that was their identity. That's what he wanted to do. They weren't doing it.
McCaffrey got hurt.
Like at all. And even with McCaffrey in, he wasn't running it. He was throwing it to McCaffrey a lot.
Right.
And I knew that because I had him on my fantasy team. But it all of those things that you said are about to be accentuated even more, because Joe Brady has only had a week to come in and try to install his version of the offense. And if he's going to be using at least a modified version of Ken Dorsey's playbook, which is already abysmal, and specifically focus on the throwing parts of the game, which is what Joe Brady likes to do and what Josh Allen likes to do, we are positioned in an excellent way, especially since Josh Allen's favorite target is going to be on the field with him for the first time since week 1 in Jordan Whitehead. So I just wanted to back up your point, about that, because Joe Brady is trigger happy as well. And you shouldn't be trigger happy against our defense. So I didn't want to take over, but I just wanted to double down on that.
I think the defense is going to have a fun time. Mark, you chime in.
I do the same thing that happened last time. I would just bring the 4, drop the 7 back. Don't let Diggs beat you. Let Gabe Davis try to beat you. I would just do that. Maybe worry about Kincaid a little bit, but what we did last time worked. Let Whitehead do his thing, and keep Allen in the box. Don't want to run around. That's my immediate.
Yeah,
Well
Goldberg
said.
had an interesting comment saying that we have a plan, but if he starts to run around a little more, we have another plan. You could see Huff as a spy. I could see if Josh is running a lot, maybe somebody like Will McDonald with that speed gets brought out to kind of be like a semi-spy, right? Like you line him up almost like over the guard, and then you drop him. We've shown we can get there with 3. If the 3 are Quinnen, JJ, and Huff, and then you drop Will as like a spy on Allen, that's a good speed package, right?
Send
Jeremy,
Huff,
go ahead.
or send WM4.
Well, I want them rushing the passer. But go ahead, Jerry. You're on the clock.
For what?
Tick, tick, tick.
Nothing.
tick.
Never mind.
Fuck.
Oh no, I'll talk.
Your 6th favorite sitcom.
I was thinking of making
we were-
stuff.
We were your 37th
Hello?
favorite Jewish sitcom.
Charles in charge.
Very good. Hey, Charles, it's me, Buddy Lembeck.
Tastes so good.
Yo, Charles,
It's
Charles.
in charge of our lives, of our hearts.
Love Charles.
What was the
All
question?
right, Jeremy, before you go, Yeti, the Friday night hangout is, we'll have maybe someone who doesn't come on very often or do like content. Rusty's popped on. He tried to. He had some difficulty. Johnny Jimenez has popped on. Mark's popping on. If you ever want to pop in or anyone else, well, we can rotate it. We could set something up. Just tell me in the chat you're interested. Get me your email, and you can pop on. Fridays are different, man. Fridays just friends hanging out, talking, everything. So, Jared, give me your thoughts on our defense going against Josh Allen and their offense.
I mean, look, we have a great defense. That's the part of the game where I feel if the first time. I mean, it's crazy that I feel more relaxed and more at ease when our defense is on the field than when our offense is on the field, because I'm waiting. When our offense is on the field, I feel like shit, like a loser. When our defense is on the field, they get to cheer and feel really good. I'm not going to say it's automatic that if Buffalo passes, starts passing a lot, that there's no way they're going to have success, because any given Sunday and Josh Allen still could have a great game. It's possible. So I'm not going to be overly confident, but it sure as hell seems to me that we got that guy's number. It seems like their offensive line is not that strong. It seems like if our defensive line shows up to play, if they're hungry, if they're energized, if their batteries are fully charged, it feels like we're going to put the kid under a lot of pressure and we're going to have success.
Okay. Adam? Give me your thoughts. Our defense against their offense.
If I'm the Bills and I'm actually using my brain, why am I not just running the ball down the Jets' throats the way all these other teams are? Why am I not using James Cook? Why am I not using Latavius Murray, who's getting a lot more usage than Cook is? Remember, Cook fumbled on the first play last week and was benched till almost halftime. This team is not using its players well to the best of their abilities, and it's less than a week that Joe Brady has had to work with this team. The Bills are in an identity crisis on offense, even though it is working, because I'm going to say it again. I said this on a previous on my video the other night. If there isn't that 12-man on the field, does Ken Dorsey actually get fired for a penalty he had nothing to do with? To me, that is the money question. I think the Bills don't really know what they're doing right now. I think if the Jets play the way that they are capable of on defense, the Bills are going to have another miserable offense. I don't care if this game is in New York, Buffalo, Toronto, the Hudson River. I don't care where. The Jets do their job. They dominate.
Get it.
I try to keep it under a minute. Go ahead.
Bring in the passion. I like it. Bring in the passion. So let's look at the other side of the ball. Let's throw out some concepts, ideas, something that we haven't seen yet from the offense that can maybe help them score. I've said jokingly, we get to the 22-yard line, throw 4 fades to Garrett Wilson, let him just jump up and catch. Realistically, we're not going to do that. I want to see Zach be more mobile. He broke out of the pocket, makes an incredible run in Vegas, and almost dives in and gets the touchdown. Let's give the kid a chance for a different type of RPO. Let's do the play action, do the bootleg, run the 2-tier cross with maybe Conklin low and Garrett deep. And then if he starts to run, now you got guys who can block for him and help him out. Use Zach's legs more to help mask his deficiencies throwing the ball in the red zone. Whether he's trigger shy, whether he's not confident, no matter what it may be, his legs are an asset. The juke that he did on Crosby at the end of the game to get the Hail Mary even off was a highlight move. If Conklin doesn't swat that ball down and Garrett comes down with it, that's the greatest play possibly the Jets have ever made. From him duping Crosby to Garrett jumping out like Spud Webb. Use his legs to help your offense move the ball. Use his legs to help our running game. Use his legs to take the pressure off. Mark, you go first this time. We'll go around. Give me an idea or concept you haven't seen yet that you think can help us get into the end zone without a penalty, without stepping out of bounds.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Defense getting a turnover and taking it back to 1 yard.
Give me an idea or a concept that like you think can help us get into the end zone when we get down near the red zone or into it. A play, an idea, a personnel, a package, get anything that you think can help us finally score a goddamn touchdown?
Was you calling me? I couldn't hear you. Was it me or someone else?
Are you having
It keeps cutting out.
you?
So
You,
Zach
Mark,
is
you.
young. Got it. It kept cutting off. My bad. No Uzoma, no Lazard. What I would do is cut the field in half. Zach is young. He can't read the whole field. What I would do is play action, pick one side of the field, strong side, roll out to his strong side, have a couple options, tight end, one receiver, and have him not think. Because when he thinks, that's when it's chaos. One option, two options, and that's it. But cut the field in half.
All right. Tigo?
Just like, I know that this isn't a popular
Tigo?
opinion. I think it's just you just keep the main thing. The offense is struggling because of a lot of penalties, not because they're not moving the ball effectively. The one thing that I would do, that I would say, like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should try this because it's kind of a smart idea. Is how about we just give Breece Hall like 45 touches? I don't know. That sounds like a really good idea. Just give our best offensive player, who's been the most consistent all year, as many touches as possible. I don't think that's all that wild to think about in that sense. But honestly, it's just, how about we just don't get a bunch of penalties? That's it. That's the game plan. The offense is already simplified. I disagree with putting Zach Wilson outside of the pocket. That's where he throws his interceptions. That's where he gets into trouble. That's where he does look, yeah, we're not scoring touchdowns, but like, if his internal clock can speed up, it's a whole different conversation. If the protection holds up and he's in the pocket, he's not throwing interception, and the touchdowns aren't coming, not because Zach's not executing the offense well, but because the offense isn't executing the offense well. Like, it's on everybody, not just Zach. No, I'm not saying the Zach blah, blah, blah. But I just think, like, you just don't hold a guy when we get into the end zone. You know, I think that's pretty easy.
It's more to me. I agree with the whole Breece Hall. Like, we got to use Breece Hall. We got to give him more time. You can't run away from it because he has one play where he gets 2 yards. You got to let a running back pound, get his rhythm, get him a lot of touches. Now, people know this. I've made this comparison, not in style. They're completely different style running backs. But Barry Sanders is a great example. If they would have stopped giving the ball to Barry Sanders when he got tackled behind the line of scrimmage or a 1 yard gain, he never would have had those big runs. So even though it's not the same style, it's the same concept. Breece Hall, 1 out of every certain amount of times he touches the ball, makes a big play. So logic has it, if you know anything about math, the more times you let him touch the ball, the more you're going to increase those big plays. They go away from him too much. The other thing that's really annoying me about him, about the play calling when he runs the ball, is it's all inside the tackles, inside zone blocking. Our offensive line is better in outside zone. When you put our offensive line in motion, why are we not doing that? Create more space. Rotate our line. Joe Tippmann is great at that. Like, let them rotate, make those blocks, open up some holes in motion, and let this kid find the hole and take off. It's almost as if Hackett doesn't want to do what's obvious to our strength because he's trying to outsmart them, but he's outsmarting himself.
It's because he's scared of the right side of the offensive line with Newman and Mitchell. It's hard to run outside zone where you want to run left and then cut back right. You know, you want to run behind Becton and Lakin and hope that the cutback lane is going to be there. But when it's Max and Newman as the guys who are supposed to create the cutback lane, and to be fair, Max has been playing really good in the run game.
That's what I think.
I agree, but the problem is you have Newman there. Newman's not playing all that great. And so now you have this massive liability where Breece is supposed to cut back to is just going to be 2 bodies because no one's going to be there. So then you think, okay, well, what if we ran to the right and cut back to the left? Well, now the problem is accentuated on the front part of the play, not the back part, where what happens when Newman gets blown up?
But they weren't doing it before McGovern got hurt and they had Tittman at right guard. They weren't doing it. They weren't doing a lot of it or enough of it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But it's one of those things where a lot of the concern with the offensive line and the running game, which absolutely needs to get better, just play calling wise. I'm not sitting here trying to defend Hackett on everything. You're absolutely right, Jeremy. The play design for the run game needs to be more creative. But it's just like it almost seems like Hackett is scared of the people that are on the field, and he's trying to coach around them instead of coaching
He's trying to
at
match.
them.
When you're a coach, you
Exactly.
have to know your strengths as well as your weaknesses, and he's got to coach to the weaknesses so they don't get anybody killed.
Exactly, and that's what he's doing with
Adam,
Zach.
go ahead, chime in.
And that's the whole point.
Creativity in the run game is something that I had in mind before Tego, and I've been saying this on my videos for a while now. It seems like our run game, I feel like I'm watching Frank Gore all over again in the Adam Gase offense. Run up the middle, fall forward 2 yards, right behind center. That's all we see. We've seen Joe Tittman, he has some mobility. And who's the best run blocker on the offensive line? I think it's Mekhi Becton. So I would like to see Tittman go left with Becton. Let's create a hole. Let's run a counter. Let's do something like that with Brees. We want to get some red zone going. Well, you got to put your best linemen in a position to knock some players back on their ass. You do that. And if you're going to play Izzy, I swear to you, what I can't deal with watching is using him like you would use Le'Veon Bell at the end of his career. I don't need to see him going up the middle. You have to get the ball to him in space. Because now I don't know if Anaconda is well equipped to, have patience to see a hole in the offensive line and go through it. But I know he's got great speed, but you got to create the space for him to run. If you can create that space, well, boom, you might have just hit pay dirt. But what we're seeing so far is not working. And another thing that I would like to see a little bit more, if the bread and butter of this offense is going to be the run game, then can we put Nick, I know what you're going to say, just stay with me. Can we put Nick Bawden on the field for more than 5 snaps a game that he gets? Can we have that? Can we have 2 tight ends and maybe a fullback or a tight end and another fullback? If you're scared of like a Newman or somebody like that, then put in a fullback who can knock somebody down and open up a hole for the running backs, which is the strength of the offense in my mind, along with Garrett Wilson. So those are some of my thoughts. Some ways to just get better in the right zone. Go ahead.
2 of our biggest runs this year have been on plays where the guard and the tackle have down blocked, and we've countered behind it. One with Bawden, one without. Brees' first touch of the year. It looks like he's going up the middle. They down block it. He kicks out. You don't have to do a sweep. You don't have to do a stretch run to get Brees Hall into space one-on-one against a linebacker or a safety. The long play in Denver, again, they down blocked, they stepped, and then they came in behind it. And it was so well blocked by Mitchell and Tittman that Bawden had nobody to block. He just ran out towards the cornerback, which he didn't even need to try to block because everything went so well. And you get Brees one-on-one with the safety. That's something I would do. And Adam, to finish up with what you were saying with Newman and Jeremy, I'm throwing this to you. With the topic of the night, with the sitcoms we've discussed, what does Coach Kevin Carter say when Newman walks into a meeting room?
Newman. Hello.
Hello, Newman.
It's Keith Carter.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the way the line's been, his name's not worth knowing.
I
think Keith has been our best coach this year on offense.
Yeah, outside of maybe saying Tony Oden or Aaron Wycott. Yeah, maybe the best.
I said on offense.
Yeah,
I said on offense. Yeah,
okay.
I think Keith Carter has been our best offensive coach this year. Like
he's bad. I like it.
Yeah, he has. For our offensive line to be as decimated as it is, and to play as well as it has, and let's be fair here, it's not like it's not good. But Newman was working at frickin' Publix a week before he started playing in the game. You know what I mean?
Great
I
stuff.
could have had him send me some of those onion rolls.
Subs are amazing.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's crazy to think that with how much adversity he's had to face on the offensive line, dude, they're still playing relatively well. Like, he had Max Mitchell kind of annihilate and eliminate Max Crosby from the game. And Max Crosby is about to win Defensive Player of the Year. Like, hats off to that guy for being able to get this team and this offensive line ready to go. But yeah, I think he's been our best coach on offense this year.
You're right.
I mean, that's like being
Jim
the thinnest one at
Podcast.
a Weight Watchers convention, but I get your point. You're right.
Jim Podcast. How many runs will they give Izzy? 4. Mark, give me your thoughts. Chime in here on Izzy, his utilization, and what do you see for him this Sunday?
I mean, this is going to be his first,
Mark.
I guess, start.
All right.
Am I muted? Hear me or no?
No, he's not starting for the first game. Yeah, you're good.
No, not starting, but this is his first, I guess, being live. I would probably say 4 or 5, maybe. Right? You're going to probably go heavy Brees. Do a little bit of Dalvin. MC, good luck in Arizona. I'd say 3 or 4. But even if Izzy does good, they'll never go back to him again because that's the way that what's his name works. So who knows? I'd say 3 or 4.
Yeah, that smells right.
But listen, my internet's really bad. I'm going to bounce out. But thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
Yeah.
Good
seeing you.
Better internet.
You're a good man, Mark Reese. A good
I don't
man.
care what they say about you.
Yeah,
You guys have a good night, all right? Bye, guys.
Have a good night, man.
Hi, buddy.
All right. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks, buddy.
I'll tell you, when you're a teacher and you get close to Christmas, I'm telling you, everything changes. It's just, that's the old line in teaching, man. Just make it to Christmas.
Put it this way: they're not going to put Izzy in
I don't
any
see
kind
a
of
lot
spot where he has to be in pass protection. You know, you don't want to put him in that kind of a spot.
I don't think we see all that much of Izzy. I think the timing of everything made sense
Agreed.
of why we cut Carter, right? Because like Carter was, I think, objectively our worst running back in the room when we looked at all the drops and just not being able to really get anything done. I think something that really doesn't stand out or isn't at least a conversation that we're having is I think Dalvin was our best running back last week.
Yeah, for the
Adam
4
pointed
carries
that
he
out
had.
earlier before you hopped
4
on.
carries.
Adam
So-
brought that up that he had 9, 8.
9,
And
8,
his
30
run
yards, and then that was
he
it.
did
It
well
was-
at.
I mean, yeah. He played.
The
He
two
had, I
runs
think
that he
had,
did well at are the types of runs that I brought up where they kind of down blocked and he kicked out behind it. Like, can we get Brees that scenario? Like
Yeah.
that should be our best run play. Everybody down block and kind of counter kick out behind it.
Ooh,
That's the goal. That's the goal. It's just we're not winning one-on-one reps in the run game all that often. And then
Yeah,
the running backs aren't trusting the offensive line.
The sexy one is ready to come join us.
I thought
I'm
we were
working on it.
here.
I'm working on it. I'm getting
But
better
yeah,
because I'm not talking myself through it anymore. Like I can actually do this stuff without having to say, open up your email. Hit send.
The thing that I think is very
interesting.
The thing that I think is very interesting, or specifically the
Johnny
comments that
sent.
Coach Salah said in his presser, I think it was either today's presser or yesterday's presser, when asked about Dalvin Cook, because he mentioned and he was very specific about and using the Josh Jacobs example of, well, Jacobs missed all of camp, all of preseason. And, when he finally made it back, you could tell that he was missing some juice and that he felt the same thing about Dalvin Cook. Well, I think we saw it last week that Dalvin Cook kind of looked like a good running back, kind of looked like a running back that was worth $8 million. And I think that it's too soon to say whether or not that's the standard or whether or not that's the anomaly. But one of the things that I will say is if that is Dalvin Cook playing to what Dalvin Cook should be, then Izzy might not get a touch all game. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah, Izzy has got game-breaking speed, but my biggest concern with Izzy and why he didn't go higher in the draft, remember that he had 20 rushing touchdowns last year at Pitt. 20. He had 21 total touchdowns because he caught one and took it to the house, right? But the biggest problem with him was he doesn't see the field well. If the hole wasn't open for him, he can't. He's not a patient runner that has good vision. He's kind of a one-dimensional runner.
I had such
who's
a good,
just
that's
got
what she
game-breaking
said,
speed.
waiting. I had such a good, that's what she said, waiting to go, and you said he doesn't see the hole well.
I'm not saying he doesn't see the hole well. I'm saying he doesn't see the whole
All right.
field well.
So, give me your thoughts. A little. Oh, we got to bring in someone else.
Tico's
What happened?
Look how Tico's games are like stacked, so like symmetrically, or it gets smaller. Like look behind him to his right, how it's stacked up. That's
Oh,
What's up, guys?
I asked if those were different size cigars before.
Tico, man, you're so military.
What's up, Johnny?
Military.
That's
What's
not,
up, guys?
dude. They're glued together.
Oh,
They don't come apart.
I thought
And
you
it's not
stacked-
me.
I thought you stacked them up.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Thanks for listening.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, guys?
You and me, man. We're gonna put the big cushions on.
How you doing, pal?
We're gonna sumo, man.
Hey, dude, I'm down, man. It'll be fun.
It'd be great. It'd be so great.
Hey,
Jeremy and Johnny and Fawn.
Jeremy brings his own cushion. It's built in.
All right, guys. I'm actually gonna hop out.
Don't knock it unless you try.
Why are you going, Tigo?
because
Uh,
John,
All right, brother.
I gotta go take care of the
rearrange
kids.
board games.
You got babies. You got babies.
I got the babies, and so my shift is gonna start soon.
Oh
So-
wow.
And I think he has movies to watch, apparently.
Because I'll answer why he has to go. Because when you're in a house that has Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving, house is quiet at 11 p.m. That's a lock.
Yo, also, well, that too, and it's also not my house, so like.
But
I don't
thank you,
wanna be-
Tigo.
This is here year round. This isn't just because it's this.
Yeah.
My mother's just crazy. All right, you guys have a good one.
hey, Tigo, make sure you watch Flash Gordon.
Be good, buddy.
Oh, of course, I've watched Flash Gordon,
you-
dude. My dad's a Jets fan because he watched Flash Gordon in Brazil with the dub. Like literally, that's why he's a Jets fan.
Dev Tu Ming, bro. Dev Tu Ming.
Quarterback, New York Jets.
All right, you guys have a good one.
See you later.
The best is he said it with pride. Quarterback, New York Jets.
Yeah, dude, that's like one of the greatest movies ever, bro. I still love that movie.
I'd be like quarterback, New York Jets.
Man, how's everybody doing tonight, man? What's been going on? I was over here cleaning because we got people coming down from Long Island.
Oh, big party.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, man. 18 people gonna be in the house.
Nice.
18 people.
It's a good luck number, man.
All right, Johnny. How much cooking do you do as part of this dinner, or do you just observe?
No, I do. We typically fry 2 turkeys and we smoke 1.
Oh,
So and
I like this.
yeah, man. So we do a lot. We do like, I mean, I order like 100 lumpias. So we'll put some lumpias inside of it. And then I'm Hispanic, so we cook a little bit of some arroz con candules.
Oh, you're killing me. This sounds so good.
So I mean, we do a lot of stuff. A couple
Oh,
Ecuadorian.
wait. Hold on. Wait. I must have hit the SAP button on my laptop. What do you put in there?
I was gonna
What do
say,
you
don't turn this into a spelling bee. I'm screwed.
Say it again.
I got lumpia, but after that, I'm like,
What is
okay.
it?
Lumpia is Filipino.
Candules.
And what
So
is
it's rice-
that? Like, give me the
it's-
translation. What is that?
So it's like it's rice with beans, right? But it's yellow rice that's mixing with these they're like lentils, right? So super super good. We typically Ecuadorians, right, will kind of cook the actual rice with the beans with some pork fat.
Oh yes,
And
the lard. The
Throw
lard.
some of the seasoning into it as well.
Mm.
I mean, it's a feast, especially for 18 people. So. But I really got big into the frying of the turkeys, man. Them things are amazing. I mean, I have it marinating for like a day and a half.
Oh my god. Hey, you got to check out my Brooklyn Brothers food review channel. Last week I did a review of lumpia.
Oh yeah. Lumpia's. I saw the one I think you had posted up. I think either today about the cookies.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
EL.
yeah, it was my favorite, bro. To this day.
Thanks. Yeah, they were good. They were good. I didn't remember them as a kid eating them much, but man, I'm telling you, I got a Loompa video. I really like 10 days ago. I released it, and I found these Filipino people at the farmers market like cooking it there fresh.
Nice.
So I got like 10 pieces of pork lumpia and brought it home and reviewed it.
Yeah. Seven field goals this upcoming on Sunday.
Maybe attempted field goal. I think that could be the number of penalties in the first half. I can see that with these two teams.
Oh, boo.
Combined.
It's gonna break. It's gonna break the record, bro. He's gonna have to throw like
6 by the Bills, 1 by the Jets. How about that?
70-yarder field goal coming.
In Buffalo, I don't think the weather's going to be too great out there, from what I'm hearing. So,
Greg the Leg he's unstoppable, bro. MVP, all pro.
Let's have a nice, ugly, low-scoring game and create doubt in their minds, and eventually pull it out late.
That's how you do it with Buffalo. You keep it close, and they start having that doubt.
That's exactly it.
You got to get in their head.
Stupid fuck. I don't want to hear that stupid fucking song. Keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah. Well, they
Keep him
have
out of the end zone.
What is with all
I want
these
them to get
teams
as many
that have
touchdowns as
these
they.
chants? Yeah, like the Raiders have Raiders and all this kind of. What are all these chants that are like coming up from out of nowhere that we suddenly didn't even know about? Now the Bills have a song or something.
They
like
don't want to be like us.
Exactly. That's the only way the teams want to be like us is the MVR chant. It's the only thing we have going for us.
There's one chant, and that's
the song too.
Ever been. It's the JETS. Just shit. Hey, Adam, you remember when we went to DC with the whole club?
4 years ago today.
Huh?
Today.
It was today?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be back. I got to use the
one
bathroom. I'll be back. Talk amongst yourself. Nobody hurt anybody.
All right, go ahead.
You took Johnny to a club in DC.
Oh yeah. Johnny lives in Virginia. Johnny and I already know each other.
No, I know, but I like that you like you took him. That he went the way he said.
Yeah.
It. Remember when you took us to that club like a little kid?
When I took you all to the club, you know.
Hey, we were out there raving, baby.
It was interesting. I drank more Truly pineapples than I care to admit. Wow, it was a weird day. I mean, it was any colder, it would have been uncomfortable. I still remember that. It was, and we were helping some of the Redskin fans at the time, helping them chant "Sell the team, sell the team." We had that going the whole fourth quarter. It's like, we feel for you. We hope it gets better. When you got Daniel Brown scoring touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, you know you're in trouble. That was the day Dwayne Haskins, rest his soul, threw his first career touchdown.
That's right.
Oh, wow. They suffered for so long, that organization. They still do. It's crazy.
They still do. Yeah, it might be Turner. I got to ask this question because with the Survivor, I wonder what you might think about this. The Survivor thing, still alive. We started with 183 people. We're down to 19. And Johnny, Johnny, are you still in, or did you?
Yeah. I lost last week, bro.
Last week, yes, you went out.
I was out, dude. I was so pissed, man.
Who got you, Cincy or Buffalo?
I picked the Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens. You picked Baltimore. Oh,
I picked Baltimore.
Oh,
they were getting towards the end.
Oh, what a bad beat!
The teams that I know are gonna win games.
Yeah,
messed me up, bro.
What a bad beat, though. What a bad beat that happened in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I did not want to take Dallas last week. I wanted to save them for this week against the Panthers, but I'm like, you know what? I know Dallas is a surefire bet, so I took them. So this week I feel kind of torn between. I'm really thinking Washington or Jacksonville. Right now I'm leaning Washington.
Yeah,
but
I got Jacksonville losing, man.
Say again?
I got Jacksonville losing.
I just started a new one started. I didn't know they do this, but the Jet Lounge guys started an elimination that starts now. They call it the Midway, I guess, all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so for my first pick, I hate to admit this, but I wanted to be different and kind of save some of the good teams for later. So I took Miami beating the Raiders.
I mean, it's gonna happen. So
I guess the only reason for any bit of optimism is Miami's coming off the bye. Maybe they get off to a slow start, but let's be honest, they would just toy with the Raiders, and then when they're ready to win the game, they'll win the game.
Yeah,
I'd rather them beat the Raiders right now, then when they come to us, they're all like, "Oh, we're back" and everything, and then we beat the crap out of them and everything. That's so they're gonna come in cocky thinking that. So
Yeah.
especially Tua, this is a revenge game for him. Coming back over here playing against the Jets, especially with Sauce knocking him out like that.
We knocked out Bridgewater. Well, I remember Sauce knocking out Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I remember that in the safety. Then Skylar Thompson came in. We knocked out Bridgewater that time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Look, it's gonna be that Miami game. I don't even want to think about it. Let's see if we could just beat Buffalo.
I think we are, man. I have the crazy. I know I keep saying 21, 7 field, but dude, honestly, man, I really, really, truly feel like this is gonna be I think we're gonna blow them out, man. Just everything's in the cards for us right now, man. Like I really, truly, I think this whole meeting that they had, the players only meeting, right? I really feel like they gave it to them and all that. People are like flipping out, like talking about what's his name, saying, "Oh, it was nice. It was nice." I mean, they're all teammates, man. You're not gonna go in there and be like, Garrett Wilson called me out saying that I need to stop being a punk and use my legs more, or Lazard stop dropping balls, or Garrett same thing. Because dude, there was a couple passes, man, that Garrett should have caught. Like that one throw, that Zach threw all the way there before the interception. That was right there, hit his chest and everything.
Yeah.
And he's a great player, right? And that's what the category that we've put him in and all that. You got to make those damn catches, man. I mean, that's what makes you a great player. But
this is an offense. You can have good play, get a couple first downs in a row, but as soon as you have one big drop, one penalty, let's be honest, deep down we know the drive is all but dead.
Yeah, exactly.
We aren't good enough to overcome a mistake on a given drive unless the other team takes a penalty.
Yeah. There's something I want to see from Garrett Wilson. If you want to be labeled a top receiver in this league, start catching the fucking ball with your hands. He had to play in the Giant game, and I forgave him for it because it was wet. He let the ball come to his chest, and the guy punched it out. The play down the sideline, down to the 2. He tries to catch it again, cradling it. The interception in Denver, he's trying to cradle it, and it pops out, and Surtain gets the pick. Catch the ball with your fucking hands. Problem solved. When your arms are out and then the defender hits them, you get the pass interference call. When you let the ball get to your body, they can body you and take you off track. You want to be elite? Start having elite hands, dude. And then when you do catch it, don't run with the goddamn ball out like a loaf of bread. Tuck that shit, man. You never know where someone's coming from. Look at Beckham. Beckham may have hurt his shoulder last night or his collarbone, because the linebacker came from 35 yards downfield and crushed them from behind. You never know where someone's coming from in this league. That's what she said.
Yeah. We need to have
never
Modine.
know where they're coming from, right, Johnny?
We need to have Modine teach Garrett Wilson that. Let's just Garrett Wilson send him to Modine's house, and Modine will explain it to him. You need he'll show him that you need to use your hands and catch the ball.
Modine's the reason Greg Zuerlein and Thomas Morstead have been as they are this year. Yeah, he's our actual kicking coach now.
The New York Jets offense is functioning as well as Modine's positivity. Is that a fair analogy?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's functioning as well as Johnny's negativity, I think, is how it's functioning.
Hey, I
everything's positive in Johnny. Hold on, Johnny. Everything's positive in your house, including pregnancy tests.
Yeah, so true. So true, man.
Look at his face. He didn't even laugh. His face dropped. He went, oh.
I'll say that's one area our team improved, though. When you think about it, from a few years ago, we got a kicker and a punter at the same time. At the same
time. I thought
time.
you were talking about pregnancies. Oh, okay.
No, we have a kicker and a punter at the same time that are good.
I know. Can we extend them too?
We should.
I wish.
Hey, Adam, I said this in your chat the other night, but I don't know if you've heard me say it yet. That we are going to kick the shit out of the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I noticed.
Literally, we are going to punt and kick field goals all day.
Hey, question real quick for you,
Johnny.
guys.
What's your thought? Go ahead.
So,
shoot.
I was seeing a lot of stuff, man, that everybody's pissed. There's some people that are upset that we let go of Michael Carter, right? I wanted Michael Carter gone since the offseason, and especially gone when he went on that insane rant on the sideline, just going off on one of the coaches, I believe, and everything.
Yep.
What are your guys' take on Carter gone? Like, good? You guys excited? I mean, or is it should have been done? Because I wanted Bam Knight over him even way back then, so.
Yeah, I did. I probably spent about 10 minutes talking about this.
Adam, you go ahead first, Adam.
Yeah, because I had quite a bit to say. I think Carter initially for a 4th-round pick, it was a 4th-round running back, and to me, every team in the league has a Michael Carter, a running back who's okay, who can fill in when you need him to fill in. And, great guy, seemed very egregious, very outgoing. Like every time the Jets social media team had a camera on the field, they had the win cam, or they're asking, is it too early to play Christmas music? You could always be sure you'd see number 32 right there talking about it. But if things weren't going well, if things weren't going his way, he'd complain about it. He'd whine about it. Remember, Elijah Moore got traded. His boy got traded. What does Carter do? He scrubs the Jets from his social media account. This wasn't over a contract negotiation. It was because his friend got traded. And like you mentioned, week 3 this year, he has the blow up, with the running backs coach. Not a very good sign. If you're a rookie, that's one thing. This guy's in his third year at this point. At this time, it's your responsibility to help set an example. So, he was pissed off when the Jets traded for James Robinson. I'm sure he was livid when they traded up to get Breece Hall. And you know what? All the good for him. I hope in Arizona he goes over there. I hope he does great. I really, really do. But I don't want to hear about what a great locker room guy he was, because it sure as hell wasn't showing on the field when the Jets were on offense. The way he was playing wasn't reflecting what a glue guy he was. If the only thing put it this way, if the offense is this bad with Michael Carter and he was the good guy in the locker room, I doubt it's going to, how much worse can it get without him? I don't think it can get worse than where it is. So all the best to him. But at the end of the day, hey, as soon as Izzy has like a good play, a big time play, everybody's going to move on. It's a results business, and Carter hasn't got results for this team since his rookie season, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, he threw some kind of shade at the end. I think when he was ready with Arizona, talking about grateful to have the chance and all that stuff like that. But then we're like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's going on that you guys are not aware of, type of thing, and all that. And that's what I mean, man. Like, I'm glad he's gone. I don't. Good riddance, man. He didn't do anything. He couldn't catch a ball, which was the craziest thing to me.
No, I mean, he had. I still remember. This was the other thing. I remember after his rookie year, it was Flight 2023. It was episode 5, and Carter is in the Jets practice facility in Florham Park, right? And maybe you might remember this clip. He's watching himself running. He had like a little bit of speed. He was getting a little bit of space, running down the sideline, and he gets caught from behind by a defensive back, and he was lamenting it so bad. He's like, oh my God, next year I'm going to have that extra gear. I'm going to have that extra speed. Nobody's going to catch me next year. Then when that second year came, he looked like pretty much the same running back. Instead of, as a matter of fact, his yards per carry actually went down.
Wasn't that that was the Tom Brady game when Brandon Eccles would have picked up. That's the Tom Brady game where Brandon Eccles would have picked off Brady's last regular season pass. Carter, if we had that Michael Carter every game, Michael Carter would still be here. Dalvin Cook would have never been signed, but we didn't. Jeremy, you chime in.
Breece Hall. I don't know.
Yeah, look, one way or the other, Michael Carter was not a guy who moved the needle, and that's on him. He had opportunities to move the needle. He could have caught the ball in the last, and I can't even pick up a specific play because he dropped so many. And I don't care when people say, well, it wouldn't have been a first down. Well, I'd like to have found out, because sometimes we see running backs make great plays and they surprise you. But there was one where it would have been a highlight play for Zach Wilson, and Carter dropped the ball. Remember earlier in the season, he scrambled to the left to the sideline.
got in midair going backwards through a pass to Michael Carter. Michael Carter drops it, would have been a first down. Look, you can't be a third down running back, get critical penalties blocking, and drop the ball receiving and expect to have a job, because those are the two things you have to be able to do as a third down running back. So he lost his job. And what I think happened is, just like Adam was alluding to, just like he does those little tweets and things like that. Like when Dalvin Cook was being signed, he sent Brett Hall a message saying, we don't need another running back. All those little things he would do. I think that what really went down is they knew that he wasn't going to take being benched with lightly and without a fight and without controversy, and they needed to just release him outright. That's what I think.
Yeah, I get that.
My take from the get-go was that they told him, hey, we're going to healthy scratch you this week. And he was just like, you know what? Can you release me to give me a chance to play somewhere else? Like, maybe it's run its course here. And the Jets complied because he is so well-liked. You know, I know some players were upset, but forget moving the wind needle. He couldn't move the fucking chains. He drops a big fucking first down in the Kansas City game. He had another drop. I forget what game that was, but the Kansas City one that was 30 fucking yards away from me, coming right at us during a big drive. And listen, some guys, I'm not going to say it's the New York thing, but there's additional pressure performing here. The stadium's bigger. You go to a smaller place like Arizona, Houston, those stadiums aren't as big. It's not as much. Some guys just can't do it on a big stage, you know, and he's got an A+ personality. He's an A+ human being. He is an A+ character. I said the other night, as soon as we heard about this, he is built for Good Morning Football. He's quirky. He's funny. He's entertaining. He says good shit. When his career is over, he has he should have a lot of places to choose from on where he takes his post at playing career. His playing career just isn't much here. I would have taken a Bilal Powell. If he turned into a Bilal Powell, we would all be ecstatic, right? A guy who wasn't an elite number one, but a guy who was an elite number two. And I think that's what we kind of wanted out of a fourth-round running back. It just didn't work out here. Maybe the line hurt him. The injuries on the line hurt him more than anyone else, because he's not that power runner. And he needed a little push from the line to get going into the second tier, and he's not breaking arm tackles of defensive linemen. So I wish him well. I don't have a bad word to say about him. You know, I mean, I get it. He was a little pissy, but that's this whole generation now. I think it's something those older guys need to kind of adjust to. I'm not following you on social media, and then 3 days later it's back. Like, what the fuck is that? Take your break up
Nick,
like a goddamn man.
Nick, by the way, I'm upset you didn't let me have my take just right now. Okay.
You asked the question. You're not allowed to have a take. You asked the question. Doesn't mean you're answering your own question.
What happened?
Nah, I'm just breaking your balls, man. I saw something somebody put up the other day.
What kind of dog and pony show do you think we're running here? What?
Hey, Chaos.
Yep. Wait, hold on. Nobody talk. Johnny, go ahead. You got the floor.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Chaos? He had put something up, man, and some dude went on like a crazy rant, and I was like, what? There's no way. Nick's always been like, yo, dude, like, take your turn. Go ahead, say what you got to say and stuff like that. Then, then I'm going to go ahead and say what I got to say type of thing. So I was just mind blown by that. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Nick is
what happened the other day? I'm missing what you're bringing up.
Twisted.
Somebody went on a rant and didn't let anybody else talk the other day. Not us. Not us, right? You're talking about on Thursday show, right?
I believe so. Something like that. It was dumb, man. I was just like, what?
I'm so lost right now. So just text me or email me, Johnny. I'm lost what you're trying to refer
You
to.
can't talk about something
I'm
unless
right now.
unless you talk about it completely. Like you can't talk in code.
Now, all right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
Jeremy
trying. I'm
had
trying to
put
read the
something
chat comments and get those up.
Jeremy had put something up about trying to get somebody that can read and break down some film, right? Somebody came up there. I guess they got their feelings
Oh, you're
hurt.
talking about on
right?
Twitter?
Nah, it was. I mean, I don't have any other social media. Only thing I have is YouTube. That's why I'm always pretty much on YouTube. That's all I really have. I got rid of all that stuff. Plus my
Oh,
job. They
you
look
you
at
put that up in your YouTube stream?
Somebody got up. Somebody. I put it in the. You mean my message? I put it in the message. I didn't.
You
see
have
somebody
put
get
like
their
I'm
feelings hurt.
looking for somebody that knows how to read.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And they
Somebody
were
got
like,
their feelings hurt. I didn't read it. I didn't. I don't see every comment on everything I do. There was a
"Nah,
comment.
you replied to it. You were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you had
Oh
a
no.
negative effect." I thought he said.
Oh no, that wasn't about that. That was somebody got mad at you, Nick. It's a Dolphins
Yeah.
fan. A Dolphins fan. That guy Daniel Meehan or whatever that watches our channel. Remember Wednesday he said he laughed at you for saying the Jets could be 8-1 if they had Aaron Rodgers, and you went off.
I'm reading it now. Hold on. I found it. I'm reading it now.
He did a whole big sob story.
It was funny because I got like in my head, I'm like, Nick's never done that. I was like, what is this guy talking about?
He called Nick abrasive.
Yeah, he called him abrasive, bro. Yo, dude, it's like the ultimate Karen comment.
It was a Karen comment. His feelings were hurt.
Yeah.
And I played Karen back to him in my reply. I was like, well, because I still want them to support my other channel, the Brooklyn Food Review. So I said, well, hopefully you'll still watch my other channel. The truth is, and I have no shame in admitting it. I care so much right now, as far as viewers and growing a channel. The food review channel means a lot more to me. Because the Jet channel is fun and it's you guys, it's friends, and it's just hanging out, and that's all good and dandy. But the food review channel to me has no ceiling. Like if it was to take off, it could be the whole world that watches it. You don't have to be a Jet fan. You don't even have to be a football fan. So to me, the potential to grow a real channel and get to thousands of users is that channel.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's the channel I really want to take off.
Hey, talking about food, you're in Sacktown, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's I have family that lives like really close to the area over there, and there's a lot of Ecuadorian restaurants. You need to go try that out, bro. Try this meal called Yampi Gachos, right, bro? And it's like potato cakes, right? That have a peanut butter sauce on top of them with the salsa on it, and then it's like an Ecuadorian sausage that you eat with rice as well.
I wonder where those places are in Sac. Like it's probably like on there's an area like Stockton Boulevard. Like there's an area
if you type it in, you'll see a whole bunch of the restaurants and stuff like that. So
okay, I'll look for it. I was good friends with an Ecuadorian chef that worked at my friend's restaurant. I grew up with him, and
he's not wrong. I do have a problem with other people's opinions.
Yes,
he did.
So I used to.
Daniel pegged me perfectly. He pegged me perfectly. He's like, Nick's got a problem with other people's opinions. I'm like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, whatever.
He's right.
He
made a comment, and I was like, he laughed at the notion that the Jets would be 8-1 with Rodgers. When I said that, I go, we beat New England, we beat Kansas City, we beat the Raiders. We probably beat the Chargers too because we're not giving that turnover up to get down to the 1 foot line. And we score some touchdowns. I'm like, we should be 8-1 at worst, 7-2 if we had Rodgers.
I believe it.
And he like laughed at it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, how can you even dismiss that notion? We've lost these games by 1 touchdown. Haven't scored a touchdown in multiple games. You don't think Aaron Rodgers adds 1 touchdown to this offense? He's averaged 2.5 touchdowns a game in his career. You don't think we get 1.5 touchdowns a game? We're 7-2. We get 1.5 touchdowns in those 3 games.
You hurt his feelings, bro. He was heartbroken. But the only reason I brought it
Listen.
up was because you were talking about. You said the
That's all right.
like in this time and the age, you got to be careful because so many people are so sensitive and stuff like that. I mean, we're a lot older. We're older heads, you know. So we come from like
What's up?
I don't know. I'm old school, man. Like I could take somebody coming in like saying these things or whatnot, but some people can't, man. It's crazy.
I mean, it was a fun discussion. I can't believe that the time and effort he put into that comment. That was sorry if I offended him. Jeez. I put a comment. I was like, hey, I appreciate the feedback. You're right. And I'll consider it going forward. Hope to see you in the chat still. That's all.
Are we doing any cool trivia tonight?
That's all.
Trivia tonight?
Yeah, someone doesn't read their text messages from about 40 minutes ago.
No.
Hey, where did Jeremy go? He went to go eat.
I think you mentioned trivia, and that pretty much convinced him to leave. No. Let's see here. You know what? Okay, I can dig deep into the archives. No, I never even got the notification, man. I see you sent the text message, but I didn't see it.
That's fine.
All right. I'll come up with something here. Let's go deep into the Rolodex.
Oh man.
or whatever it is. Okay. All right, going old school here.
What's the topic?
Okay. I got one for you. So during the 2 years with Rex, when the Jets went to the AFC Championship game, they had two undrafted free agents who played college football at the University of Maine. You know who those two players were?
Oh my God.
We did? Or they did?
Yeah, the 09 and 2010 Jets, there were two players on those teams that were undrafted free agents, but they played college football at the University of Maine. Who are they?
Offense or defense?
I'm going to give you a little bit of time. We'll figure out offense, defense. We'll get there. Not giving the clues just yet.
Well, I'm going to use my lifeline. I'm going to give this to Nick.
Nick has been like the trivia king, like on my Thursday shows. I mean, the whole chat could just be out of it. Nick comes in and boom, boom. He's like friggin' Ken Jennings on Jeopardy.
Well, that was a good question the other day because Greg Williams sticks out in Jets minds from the Raider game. Doug Marrone was praised as a coach here, and it's somebody that a lot of us were upset didn't get a chance to coach this team. Chan Gailey took me a minute because I forgot Chan Gailey was on the staff at one point, and the other one was, don't tell me. It was Greg Williams. It was Chan Gailey. It was Doug Marrone. And it was
Dick
Frank Reich. Who's the other one?
He went on to coach the Chargers after he left the Jets. Rex loves him. The guy who Rex loves, who went on to coach the Chargers for a while.
Oh, the running back coach, Anthony Lynn. Yeah.
Anthony Lynn. Yeah, that's right.
Anthony Lynn.
All right, Johnny.
Which one is the head coach in the league now? Wait, I didn't get to ask you this the other day.
Oh shoot! No, I got.
Who was Williams? You said one of them was the head coach of the league now.
Williams,
that's what threw me off for a second.
Lynn,
that's why I guessed Frank Reich at first.
I think Marrone. Never. I don't even remember anymore. Holy crap! J.R. Jett, are you cheating, man?
Who?
J.R. Jett got it. Got it. I don't know if he looked anything up, but if he didn't, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, Matthew Mulligan and Mike DeVito. I'm like Mike DeVito. I can see people knowing because DeVito's been getting interviewed by guys on their channels and whatnot. But how many people knew Matthew Mulligan went to the University of Maine?
Not me.
That's rather random.
Even existed. Who knew that Matthew Mulligan even existed? You need a Mulligan on that question.
Oh, I couldn't stand him as a Jet. The blocking tight end who couldn't block. I did not like Matthew Mulligan. Man,
dude, Harrisonburg today was insane, bro. It was nuts, man. I was having a couple friends.
Let me pull one out.
That's what she said, or he said.
Go ahead, talk. You guys talk. Let me find the question.
Did you see that, Adam, today?
See what now?
That Pat was over there at
JMU.
Yeah, over there in Harrisonburg, man. It was was crazy, dude. They like flooded the whole show and everything. The fans were going nuts.
Oh, Mac, when you said Pat, I didn't know who you meant at first. Okay, so the McAfee show was there.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
They should. Yeah, they should be, man. Even though we're like ODU fans, like for the most part, they gave JMU a good battle. But yeah, JMU pulled that one out, and it's a shame that the postseason waiver didn't apply to them. That they can't.
Yeah,
play
which is bull. That's bull, bro.
Yeah,
Dude,
it really is.
They have not had a losing season since 01.
Wow.
Crazy is that?
Wow. How many coaches have I don't know their program too well. Have they had multiple head coaches since that time, or has it been the same coach?
It's I mean, I know with the new coach, I mean, he's a couple years now there, but they've had somebody there for like a while and whatnot. But they built some really good, like their offensive and defensive lines are like they're monsters, man. So
I mean, it's amazing. Like these coaches don't get like recruited to like bigger schools, more prominent programs. But hey, JMU treats them great, then that's fantastic. Because they might be the one undefeated school all season. Right. You never know.
True that.
All right, I got one for you guys. It's going back to a little draft trivia from the 90s.
Ooh.
I think this one's up your wheelhouse, Adam. If you know it right away, don't blurt it out. Just give me a nod and then give everybody else a chance to participate.
Okay.
In 1995 draft, the New York Jets had 2 first-round selections. Can you name them both?
Lorenius Coles.
That's too soon. That's too.
He was third round of 2000.
2000. That's right.
He was third round in 2000.
Like I know the picks right around.
I'll repeat to the chat.
95.
In the 1995 draft, the New York Jets had 2 first-round selections. Who were they?
Well, in 95, I was...
Either one you got a guess, Adam?
I have a couple of names in mind, but I can't say I'm overly confident with either of them.
I was 7 years old.
Aaron Glenn?
Not Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Glenn Foley.
No, he was not a first-round pick.
I will give you a hint. This is a hint that could probably be used for every draft pick in the 90s when it was at Radio City Music Hall and Jets fans filled the stands.
He got booed.
This selection is infamously booed. Not just booed. This selection is infamously booed by fans chanting, "We wanted someone else."
Kyle Brady.
Yep. Kyle Brady, we took over Warren Sapp.
And Ken O'Brien?
Modine busting JR's balls and JR replying, "My internet is freezing. Give me a minute." It's fucking fantastic in the chat. I see it, guys. Good stuff.
I need to come up with ungoogleable questions. Is what I need to do.
Everything's Googleable.
Yeah, Brady.
Here's a hint.
Loggeman was already drafted.
You did this trivia question 2 weeks ago on the Hangout. We did something similar. This guy's name came up as one of the players to wear this number exclusively in Jets history.
It was that 90 number.
Yeah,
right?
Johnny? You're halfway there.
Damn it.
Repeat the number.
Halfway there.
99? Or 98 or 90 something like
You're right.
99?
Who wore 99 for the Jets in the mid-90s, guys?
It was that guy that had hair.
All right. So that eliminates everyone. That includes everyone in NFL history except Josh Dobbs. Everyone else is eligible for this. Way to narrow it down, Johnny. I have to wait for Will Smith coming in and hitting me after that joke.
I'm glad I could help, guys.
He has the Jets rookie sack record.
Oh, now I know it now. Yep, I've asked that question before. I know who it is.
Go ahead. We've given the chat long enough. Go ahead.
Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, Hugh Douglas and Kyle Brady.
Who was the player that got
3 interceptions in a game that Adam said last time?
Who is the player who got 3 interceptions in a game that I said last time?
Jordan Whitehead?
I don't know.
Okay. Good question, John.
I'll be honest with you guys.
Great trivia, Johnny. You asked a question that you didn't even know the
Good job,
question.
Flash.
You forget not knowing the answer. He didn't even know the question.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'll see if I can find one. I'll see if I can find one more here. Yeah, that'll probably have to call it after this one. But okay, I'll do a jersey number question. Let's see when I could find
52.
52.
Yeah.
I don't have a 50. I've actually already asked the 52 question. Okay, here's a question. I got a question for you. So Brian Washington wore number 48 between 1990 and 1994. All right. So Brian Washington left the Jets in 94. Who was the next Jet to wear number 48 after Brian Washington in the early 90s? Defensive player.
48.
48.
He wore it. He was a player from the 90s? Or
Maybe,
did it
not.
take a long time to get that?
It took a long time. It was not in the 90s. I will tell you that. What?
Nick Bawden? Bawden?
No, it wasn't Bawden. There's been somebody since. JR Jet, is your Google working yet?
I can't even use Google on my phone because I would disappear.
I actually sit on my hands so no one can ever accuse me. Like my hands are behind me on the seat, so no one ever can accuse me of looking it up. 48.
Play defense.
John McGraw was 38. 48.
Mm-hmm.
John Connor? No, he was 38 also.
Right, he was 38. Again, defense, not offense.
Was it Lorenzo Malden?
He was 55, I want to say. He had a 50s number.
Jordan Jenkins.
You got it, Jordan Jenkins. Good job.
God, he's so good.
I always get those two confused. Because they were both like third-round picks. They were both edges. One was from Louisville, one was from Georgia, and they both were not very impressive. I think one had like a 6.5 sack year.
Pass rusher. That feels like just not that long ago. Jenkins was the best pass rusher the Jets had. Which is
talking about Georgia. Nick, I know you're a dog fan, right?
I'm a Bulldog, yeah.
I just got my new little old school.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I got to put it up over here in the man cave. So
there you go.
Nice.
All right, guys. I gotta check out. 3 hours. I think I'm gotta call it a night. But
I got one question for you.
Johnny. Yeah, go ahead.
There are 3 teams in NFL history who have not been on the clock at number 1. Can you name them?
All right, the Jets are obviously one.
No, never had the number 1 pick.
Never had the number 1 pick. Oh, Keyshawn. Yep, they drafted Keyshawn. That was number 1.
Never had.
Nice.
Wait. Hear the question the right way.
Okay.
There are 3 teams that have never been on the clock to start the draft.
Been on the clock to start.
They may have traded up for number 1, but they've never been on the clock to start the draft.
The Packers.
Okay. I was going to say the Packers too. Is that one or no? No? Okay. No.
Shit.
Raiders has
the Buffalo.
I'll give you a hint for one.
I'm going through each team.
Nope. One of them infamously traded up for a player, and that player went on to have a Hall of Fame career with them and stayed with them for his entire career. I'll give you that hint.
The Patriots?
No.
I was thinking
They were
I was
number
thinking
they
LA,
were number
Denver?
one on the clock with Drew Bledsoe. They took Drew Bledsoe number one overall.
That's right.
Denver?
Denver Broncos traded up to get John Elway, but they would never
Yep.
been on the clock for number one.
Right. The Colts drafted Elway, then they traded him.
One is so they technically got the number one pick.
See, I'm thinking
I
newer
guess that's how they're
teams.
wording it. One
Yeah,
team
like I'm
is
thinking it should be
AFC, one team is NFC.
Chargers?
Not
No.
the Chargers.
No, they were number one when they drafted Eli.
They had one with Eli, yeah. Good call.
Buffalo?
49ers, no, Mo. It's not Buffalo.
All right.
The
Cincy did, Cleveland did.
Yeah, J.R. Jet got Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens.
J.R. Jet got Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
So
Ravens.
it's one other team from the NFC.
You said it's not the Packers.
Trying to
The
think of a hint.
Cowgirls?
It's not the Vikings. It's not the
Eventually
Cowboys.
No.
Seattle?
Yeah.
It's Seattle. Yeah, I couldn't think
Yeah.
of Seattle number one pick.
Seattle,
Okay.
Seattle, Baltimore, and Denver have never been on the clock at number one.
All right.
Easy. That's actually kind of good for them, right?
Adam, go ahead. Plug your show, buddy.
All
I'll
right.
head out too with you.
Yep, we do the Wednesday Night Live show at 10 p.m. This coming week, Thanksgiving. I may be doing it on Tuesday. Just depends with the holidays, so I'm not sure because I know I'm going to have some family in town. But we'll see how that goes. I'll be recording in the morning. I'll be doing my
Oh, they're
Jets
coming to you?
Bills. What?
You don't have to travel. They're coming to you.
You're
You're not traveling for the holiday. They're coming to you.
Yeah, I'm going to be host. Yeah. I'll be hosting
cool.
the family
Who's coming?
this time. Yeah.
Who's coming?
Mom's coming.
Awesome.
yeah.
How's she
Yeah, she's
feeling?
coming up. Yeah, so yeah, she's doing good. She was just in New York she'll be doing a tour in New York City pretty soon. So she was down up there for a couple of days, kind of checking the area out, figuring out how to get around and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. Oh, but I got my turkey today. I got a 6.5 pound turkey breast, like back, skin, everything. I paid $11.50 for it. Not bad.
Food line?
6.5 pound turkey breast, $11.50.
Food line?
Harris Teeter, believe it or not. Harris Teeter got a really good deal on it was like $1.79 a pound for a turkey breast. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. I like to do a whole turkey, but for two people, it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, I'll be doing the bold predictions video and I'll be doing the Jets versus Bills game preview. Got a whole lot of stuff to break down. So I'll be recording that pretty early in the morning. So check that out. NY Sports Wicker Media.
All right. If you move to Tuesday and you don't want to talk by yourself, let me know.
All right. Yeah, I'll we'll kind of figure it out as the
Let me
next
know. I got
couple of
nothing
days.
going on Tuesday.
Okay. All right. I will keep that in mind.
So
All right,
let me
everybody.
know. If you want company, if you want to do your thing and then bring me in later. I know you have like a format that you do. So if you want to run through your format and then you want me to hop on later, let me know.
It depends how the game goes. That usually tends to dictate my format, but we'll see how it goes. Whether we talk about the division hopes or we talk about Tankathon.
Well, you might need me to talk while you stew. I know so.
If I'm still stewing,
Let you
yeah, I
stew
will
and
be
take a
still
deep
stewing
breath.
48 hours later. That's still within range.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Thanks for hopping on. And I will see you soon. Johnny, thanks for joining, brother.
I appreciate you,
We'll
man,
talk.
for having me.
Do me a
on.
favor. No worries, man. Thanks for chiming in. Here, let me give you the screen there. Thanks for coming on. Reply to your email. Shoot me your phone number. That way we can coordinate a little more because I don't use that email except for when I'm at this computer. And this way, we got each other's info.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Definitely will. Yeah, I'm going to Cuba at the end of the month, man. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, right after Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm. So pretty hype.
Yeah, nice. You smoke cigars?
Hands down, my favorite cigars are Romeo and Julietas. I'm joints there, so that's my favorite, man. So
Nice.
I don't. My crystals a little bit too
Nice.
They're too harsh, So more of the Romeos. But I appreciate you,
Nice.
man.
Nice. I was a big fan. All right, bro. Be good. I want to thank everyone in the chat. Hey, JR. Not yet. I'm close. They've lowered the restrictions for it from 1,000 down to 500. I'm almost at 450 right now, and got to get some more watch time. So you'll be seeing some longer streams where I can get some more watch time hours and build that up. I'll be pumping out shorts. So eventually, you want to send a Venmo, man? I'll take a Venmo if you want to show some love. I'm never against that. But yeah, we'll get there soon. I'm gonna keep grinding, hopefully putting out content that people enjoy, and that's the next milestone. So 54 more people and a couple hundred more watch hours. So doing a long stream allows everyone to watch for a longer period of time and builds that up. But we'll get there. You know what? Hop in on Jet's Chaos Show on Wednesday night on Jeremy's channel from 8 to 10. His show has super chats, and then you can show some love over there, and we split those. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Enjoy the game Sunday. My prediction, 23-19 Jets. We find a way to get in the end zone. Maybe the defense even scores one for us too. So as always, be loud, be proud, New York Jets fans. Take care.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go.
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean in the chivalry.
Let's make sure we
Rap
play
Buddha,
like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
Like
to eat a
makeup.
damn snack.